chains off my brain. I broke the code to the matrix, pain in my veins. But now it's peace, I'm chasing fake hugs, fake dabs. Left them all in the basement, growth on my chest. Truth's the only replacement. Blizzard abroad, peace in my hands, I'm the mission. Brotherhood tight, worldwide with the vision. Left the pain back, no rewind, no submission. Real talk, real man, this my soul's ambition. Walking through the shadows, I found light in the rubble. Built from the ashes, turn my grind into muscle. No more trust for the snakes, dodging all of the hustle. Inner peace, loud victory through the struggle. Feet touch foreign land, still grounded in my roots. Global sounds bumping, but my story's the proof. Truth in the mirror while we build for the youth. Blizz in the building, let them all see the truth. Eyes on the prize, no disguise, I'm the essence. Every scar on my soul taught me life lessons. Brotherhood worldwide, different flags, same message. Unity the weapon, keep the fake ones guessing. Blizzard abroad, peace in my hands, I'm the mission. Brotherhood tight, worldwide with the vision. Left the pain back, no rewind, no submission. Real talk, real man, this my soul's ambition. Blizzard abroad, blizzard abroad, blizzard abroad. Peace in my hands, I'm a mission. Yeah, yeah.
Hello, how's everybody doing, man? It's good to see you guys in here already, man. What's going on with you? It's the midweek check-in. You know what it is, man. Hump day. I know people say they never heard of hump day, but yeah, hump day is the middle of the week, man. So we need to check in with each other, man. Check the temperature, see how we doing, man. That's what brothers do. You know, that's what family does. And hopefully we're going to build that here. We're going to build that on Blizzard Abroad channel, man. We're going to build a family, a community, you know, where we can look out for each other, man. Or we could just connect, man. You know? I see you guys in here. Let me shout some people out. Icy. That's sis right there. Icy's in the building. Number one, Miss Wishy's in here. What a thumbnail. Yeah, the thumbnail. Yeah, is it worth the fight, man? I love LaShawn. Is it worth the fight? Because we're all fighting something, man. Q, what up, brother? It's good to see you in here, man. If you're still in here, what's the context? Is this a Philippines topic? Nah. It could be because it's an open conversation. So what I usually do, especially on Wednesdays, is I let you guys come up. Anything that you guys want to talk about, let's talk about it, man. Get it off your chest. You stressed out? You happy? You know, whatever it is, man. We need a space where men can talk to each other without shame, judgment, without the fighting, without the talking points. You know, just us. You know, of course, women are welcome here. You know, absolutely, you're welcome here. You know what I'm saying? Hold on one second. Sorry about that. Right when the show starts, my phone starts ringing. So yeah, it could be about the Philippines. It could be about your relationship. It could be about politics, religion. It could be about anything. This is the space for us because this is what we always complain about. We don't have a space where we can go get shit off of our chest. We don't have an outlet, you know. So I want to fill that void. It's right here, you know. Come on, what up, brother? It's good to see you, man. Nice intro. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I slipped up a little bit. I've been so busy today. I made another song, and I forgot to download it and upload it into StreamYard. So I didn't put that in there. Digital Fanboy, what's up? What's going on? Yeah, appreciate it. W Secrets, what's up, bro? Good to see you, man. Is it worth fighting for? That's a powerful question. Sometimes it's a painful one. Exactly. You don't have super chat. Nah, I'm not monetized, man. Not monetized yet. We working towards that though. We're working towards that because not everyone is meant to be fought for, but some things absolutely are. So how do you know the difference? Yes, then it's a boo. You get it, man. You get exactly where I'm coming from. Now, like I said, this is an open discussion. We can talk about anything you guys want to talk about, but I always have a topic. I always have something I want to get off my chest too. You know what I mean? It's not just me talking to you guys, giving you my opinion on everything. I want you guys to come up, you know, when I open the floor and we talk, you know. But that's the question, man. Is it worth fighting for? I think it's a question that a lot of men are struggling with right now in America because I'm in America. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in the Philippines. I typically don't make my vlogs here when I'm in the Philippines. Yeah, I vlog. I show you what I'm doing over there. But I'm in America right now. So I gotta deal with where my feet is at, you know. And the question is, is it worth the fight? What am I talking about? You can fill in the blanks because it's a question we need to ask ourselves. You know, is it worth the fight? Is it worth your time, energy, effort? Whether that's a job, whether that's a relationship, whether that's these arguments we get into online, because I typically I don't argue. I don't like arguing. I don't like stressing myself out. I don't like I feel like arguing sometimes you lose brain cells. You lose brain cells, you're stressed. All right. Hold on a second. My granddaughter's made her opinion. She's made her entrance. Um, uh, we have to constantly ask ourselves, you know, is what I'm doing beneficial to me, my health? Is it worth my time, energy, and effort, especially our time? Because you don't get it back. And it's the way I think of time. I think of time as something that does never come back. I know we give me 1 second, guys. I'm sorry, man. I usually have all this cleared up. Give me 1 second. I'll be right. I apologize. All right, I'm back. Had to deal with something with my son. I'm a couple people left, you know. This is what I'm talking about. You have to answer that question for yourself. I can't tell you what's worth your time, energy, and effort. But we need to ask ourselves this, right? And I said it earlier, man. You know, men have a tough time walking away. Why? I don't know. In relationships, we tend to be the ones that hold on. It seems like the woman leaves, but we hold on because we're not asking ourselves this. So, of course, some things are absolutely worth the fight. You know, our kids, some, I don't know. Like I said, you have to be able to answer that question for yourself, man. But at least ask it. Don't just get caught on that hamster wheel, you know, because it runs out. It runs out. You know, I lost my train of thought where I was at, but you know, we get fatigued, we get worn down. Yes, we're men. We're not machines. We're not aliens. You know. Q asks, are you married to a Filipina? How did you find Uncle Cal channel? I found his channel. I guess it was like a midlife crisis, man. You know, it's a midlife crisis. It was the COVID. You know, I really never even watched YouTube before COVID. You know, I used to listen to podcasts, but on a different app. So I stumbled across his channel. I wanted to get away. I wanted to get far away. You know, I had never traveled outside of the country, and I started looking for places to go. And the first expat channel I seen was Old Dog. You know, nothing against him. He has a great channel, but it didn't speak to me. You know what I mean? It didn't speak to me. And then I think the next one was Mike's Philippines Retirement. Great channel too, but it didn't speak to me. You know, and I stumbled across Calvin's channel, and it spoke to me because he sounded like one of my uncles. You know, not what he was talking about, the way he was delivering it. You know, so that's how I came across his channel. You know, I ended up emailing him, talk behind the scenes. Like I said, it didn't take me long before I booked my flight to come visit. You know, so like I said, man, he's been reach out to him, Q. Reach out to him, man. He's a good dude, man. I think you know that. Kamal says, and it builds cortisol. Fuck that. Yes. That's why it's important, man, because we don't realize, man, when we stress, we're losing time off of our life. You know, we're losing time off of our life, man. So is it worth it? Are other people's fights worth your time, energy, and effort? Because if you go online, that's what you see a lot. You see people recruiting you to join their fight. You know, it's like the army recruiting. You know, the powerful people at the top don't fight the fight. It's us regular guys, man. You know, close your eyes and imagine letting go. How does it feel? Does it bring peace or does it tear you? Or does it tear at your heart? Smash that like button. Take your time, please. I appreciate that, man. If the thought of walking away leaves you with a deep sadness, if you feel like you're leaving a part of yourself behind and maybe it's worth fighting for, yeah, but is it guilt? Is it guilt or fear of missing out? You know, because I'll be honest, man, I stayed in a relationship way longer than I should have. Way longer than after we both knew it was over. You know, I stayed because I wanted to be there until the kids graduated. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't all bad. It wasn't all bad. There was good times mixed in there. but we knew it had an expiration date. And when the time came, I left, you know? So you got to ask yourself, you know, and I felt guilty as hell, but I know it was the right choice. I did feel guilty. So I don't know if that was a deep sadness, but it's a guilt, you know? Topic is too broad. Anything could be worth fighting for, but then again, anything doesn't deserve a fight. Yes. And I mean, we're on YouTube right now, so I'll just say this about, like I said, about YouTube, man. If you look across YouTube, man, people are constantly recruiting you to fight their battles, you know, and it's playing out in the streets of America right now, you know, because you got a certain group of people saying that I don't give a shit about this issue. I'm not going out there. Not this time. You got other people saying, no, you're supposed to be out there. You know, you're supposed to care about this issue because I care about it or because it matters to me. You have to put the effort in. You understand what I'm saying? What do you believe in? What do you stand for? Don't fight for something that makes you go against who you are. What up, Cisco? How you doing, bro? It's good to see you. Yeah, Unc is like a prophet when it comes to the Philippines. Have you been there yet? Yes, I've been there twice. I've been there twice. 2 weeks, 2 weeks east, just vacation. You know, I love the Philippines. I love the people there. I enjoy myself. I don't know when I'll be back. I know my next trip is going to be somewhere different. I mean, I still got a lot of, you know, the USA is just a dot on a globe. So is the Philippines, you know, and it, like I said, it spoke to me, man. There's something special about that place. You know, but I still have a lot of other places I want to visit and see, you know, but I'll definitely be back to the Philippines. Because winning a battle that costs your character or self-respect isn't really a win at all. What's up, Adam? From Cisco, fighting for love, truth, peace, and purpose. That's noble. That's real. But fighting out of pride, fear, ego, that just leaves you empty. Cisco, stress takes years off your life, boy. You said a mouthful with that statement. It does, but we don't even realize it. And I think we get so used to carrying that weight that it just seems normal. It just seems normal, man. You know, I stopped answering the phone for certain people. You know, they don't call anymore. And it's because it was always something. Always, you know, some people, they need your advice, they need your help. And some people just want to get shit off of their chest. They just want to throw up on you. I call it throw up on you and then leave. There's a time and place, you know. So I started asking people now, you know, do you want advice or do you want to vent? Because it's two different things. You know, if you need advice, of course I'm going to help you, you know. But if you just want to vent and get shit off your chest, you know, I may not have the time for that because I may be overwhelmed with shit that's going on in my own life. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of sounds cold, but we do need to protect ourselves too. We do need to protect our mental health. It's still men's mental health awareness month. June's not over yet. Yeah, I know I know we forgot about it. The whole world forgot about it already. But it's still men's mental health awareness month. You know, and I'm gonna keep saying that every time I come up here because it's important, you know. Come on, I find Southeast Asia's dew points intolerable. Well, I don't know, man. I love it. I love it. I'm gonna open it up, man. Anybody wants to come up, chop it up. Whatever you want to talk about. If you want to talk about this subject, a different subject. Here's the link. This is not going to be a 5-hour, 6-hour stream, man. I'll probably be here 3 hours at the most, at the very most. 3 hours. I know y'all don't believe me when I say that, but I have to really do something out there. Every day matters. Yeah. Every day matters, man. My dad, before he passed, would always say, 3 things will kill you: women, food, and stress. He wasn't lying. It's right sometimes come off, but it's still better than the cold, in my opinion. It is. We're going through a heat wave right now in the Northeast. I live in Connecticut. Um, it's unbearable though. It's unbearable because we're not used to it this early on. You know, there's 100 degrees. It was 104, I think, yesterday. Today, I think it got up to like 97. So we're just not used to it, man. That type of heat usually hits us in August, you know. But what's worth your time, energy, and effort? Like I said, I can't tell you. You have to figure that out. But at least ask yourself. At least keep asking yourself that. It's like checking your own temperature. And I'm not saying to leave your responsibilities. I would never say that, you know, or try to abandon the burden of masculinity. I would never say that. You know what I mean? What I'm saying is some things absolutely is not worth your time, energy, and effort, especially your time. It's the most important thing you got. And I was trying to explain to somebody, man, that they need to see their time, you know, as currency. You know, do you want to waste it? Because it doesn't come back around. I know we have days, years, months, and you know, and we use that so we can track things and, you know, plan and all that shit. But I think we start believing it. Tomorrow doesn't exist. Tomorrow doesn't exist. Yesterday doesn't exist. You only have right now. You can only live in the moment. I'm not saying don't plan for the future, don't reflect on the past, but you only have right now. There is no tomorrow. You know, what do you guys think of that? There is no tomorrow. How they say time is linear. It doesn't come back around, man. There is no tomorrow. You're not gonna magically loop around. That's why I'm not really big on celebrating my birthday. You know, because I just don't see things that way. You truly, you truly, from the moment you're born, your clock is ticking. You know, it doesn't restart every day just because you go to sleep. It doesn't restart. Agreed. What time? What up? What up, brother? How you doing, man? Good to see you in here, bro. Everybody saying what up. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I know what I ain't fighting for these illegal immigrants. Get your paperwork right and come back into the country. Let's start the stream hot. I agree. I don't support illegal immigration. I've said that. I don't support it. Do it the right way. We don't do it. We can't do it anywhere. You know, I know a lot of people have different opinions. That's just my opinion. And you don't have to agree. And I don't have to agree with you because we're probably never gonna. You're not gonna change my mind on it. I don't think I'm gonna change anybody else's mind on it. Paulo, there is no tomorrow. Now I don't think. Yeah, facts, Blizzard. I don't care about a birthday. You know, absolutely, man. So do me a favor, man. Everybody, do me a favor. If you have a channel, type Q. You new here. Type MINE in the chat. MINE. What that's gonna do is drop your link, you know, because we support each other here. It's gonna drop the link to your channel. Hopefully, everybody in here. There's not a lot of people in here, but everybody in here will subscribe to you. You know, damn right order. Yeah, man. We live, man. Anybody got anything they need to get off their chest? If you're listening right now, I know I'm a little earlier than I've been coming on. There's no Calvin tonight. Mine. There you go. You dropped it. Let's see if Nightbot's gonna do his job tonight, man. Facts. My peace of mind is the most precious thing in my life. Zero tolerance for anything that jeopardizes that. Hold on. Where's Nightbot at, man? Nightbot slipping, man. Hold on, let me check something. What's Nightbot doing, man? I agree with that, man. Peace of mind. You know what I'm saying? Can't buy it. You can't buy that. Yeah, where the fuck is going on with Yeah, don't capitalize the M. See if that does it. Don't capitalize the M. Because I think I put it in lowercase. That might make the difference. Yeah, there you go. There you go. I think that's what it was. Yeah, I really want y'all to hear that song, man. Like, I'm starting to love AI, man. I'm just playing around with it. I'm having fun. I got a lot of time. I'm not working. You know what I mean? And I've just been enjoying it. I've been enjoying my grandkids. They stressing me out a little bit, but you're not gonna get this. You're not gonna get this time back. You know what I'm saying? So while I have the time, I'm enjoying it. You know. See, yeah, there it is. That's our brother Adam. He's putting out. He's starting to crank out some content, man. Go check him out, man. A lot of good content, a lot of good advice. You know, another level-headed guy. He's not on the extremes, and that's what I enjoy because I'm not an extremist, man. I'll be like dead down the center a lot of shit, you know. Adam, yeah. How come you're not monetized? Did YouTube change the rules? No, I just said I haven't hit the watch hours yet. Man. The watch hours is tough. I started uploading content. I think my first video was February 2024. So it's been like a year and 4 months. But I didn't take it serious. You know what I'm saying? I didn't take it serious. I wasn't like really taking time to edit or any of the back end stuff, you know, thumbnails, SEO, search keywords, all that stuff. You know, I mean, I just went back and did the keywords for my channel itself. I did that over like 3 days ago because I didn't even know there were keywords for your channel. So I went back and did that. It wasn't until recently that I said, you know what, let me start taking this serious, man. And I see the difference. I enjoy it a lot more. I should have started doing live streams earlier. I put that off because, like I said, I wasn't that serious about it. People were like Icy, especially, was telling me I need to do live streams. I think Wishy too was telling me, and like I've been enjoying it, just talking, just having a conversation. Usually TJ comes up, Cisco comes up, we chop it up. Another brother, he's not in here right now, but Joseph, Adam, and we talk. You know, listen to Icy, yeah. He said, "You must be a young ass grand." yeah. I'm 47, 6-year-old granddaughter, 2-year-old grandson. Yeah, I love it. Listen to Icy, yeah. I should have, because I would have been like doing live streams shit last year if I would listen to her. Mine, yep. There it is. There's the channel. Facts. That's how it goes, man. Here's my cousin's Poshmark channel. I'm just trying to help him and his wife out. They sell oils. Like I said, I use it. I got some on right now. This is the black butter. They sell oils, incense, and they sell some clothes up there too, man. Like I said, I got what time is in What time is it? Travels time for Cent is in the building, man. He's the expert. Go check his channel out, man. He gonna blow up, man. He gonna blow up. Watch, because it's good information, and we can tell that you know what you're talking about, man. We can tell that that's your shit. You know, is it worth the fight when it comes to traveling abroad, starting a new life? Absolutely. Yeah, but what was it that you gave up on here that you were saying, oh, it's not worth it? You know, it's not worth it. But even after that, it's not all peaches and creams over there. You know what I'm saying? It's not all peaches and creams. It's just a different set of challenges. And those challenges may be more suitable to you. You know what I mean? But I know for a fact it's not all peaches and creams up there. You know, you got Adam in the back. Mine, Lilith Tate, how you doing? It's good to see you in here. Lilith, type mine, MINE in the chat. So we can all connect to you. Good channel. She interviewed me really, really early. I think she was my second interview, second or third. She interviewed me, so that was pretty good, and I appreciate that. Nothing. So you just left? So you gotta come up, Q. You gotta come up, bro. I dropped the link. You gotta come up. I wanna hear your story, bro. And it'll bring I don't know. I haven't dug deep enough into your videos to see if you actually ever addressed it or not. You know, because that's important. Like, we want to know the story too, man. You know, it draws people to your channel, and it gives you that personal the feel of a personal connection. You know what I'm saying? He says, I gave up on entitled women and racism, self-hate from my own community. I'm doing good. Yeah, and say hello to Frank for all of us here, man. So we got Adam in the background. I'm gonna bring him up now. What's going on, Adam? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How you been doing, Blizzard?
Good. It's good to see you, man. Yeah, I want Q to come up. I'm gonna drop the link again for Q, man.
Let him come up.
Yeah, we want to talk. And like I said, man, I got a space where Q, I'm not gonna bash you. I'm not gonna try to you know, the gotcha moment or nothing like that. You know, I just want to hear your story. Because I know Q, you're younger. Q, how old are you, man? What's up? That's why I support your channel, Blizzard. You're a real one. I don't know no other way to be but me. 30. Oh yeah, you young, man. You young. And I appreciate what you said yesterday in Calvin's chat when you were saying, like, damn, I didn't know other men thought, or something like that. You said, like, you thought all men thought a certain way. And I think I said that, you know, that's the reason why it's important to have these conversations, because we're not all the same. We don't all think the same way. It's the same with women. They're not all the same either. We're all individuals. We all are the way we are because of the experiences we've gone through in life. You know, I think the nature of women is the same, but don't forget about the nurture. You know, they work together, nature and nurture. You know, so just because a woman is born overseas doesn't mean she's good. We know that. And just because a woman is born in the States doesn't mean she's bad. But, all right, that's my spill. Go ahead, Adam. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. If your friend comes up here and he talks about his poems, we can at least listen. If we can, we'll try to help him find an answer.
Absolutely.
A channel like this should be about uplifting others and not dragging them down. You know, it's helping them find the right path in their life that makes them happy.
Absolutely, man.
But if you want to go back to the original topic, we can. If you don't, or your friend comes up and wants
Yeah,
to talk, we can go in any direction that you want to
yeah. Let
go.
me. You got thoughts on that? Have you experienced that? You know,
Experience what exactly? Because I went away for a
you
few
know,
minutes because I took
the
my
the
meds and all.
the moment in your life where you were questioning, is this worth the fight? Is it,
Yeah, and the most major one was when I was in 2001, when I was 29 years old. I had that stroke. I was questioning if it's worth keep fighting for when I had I had my mother, but she was dealing with cancer at the time also, so she couldn't really help me out. But the rest of my family and all they cared about is what they can get from me. And then when I was in hard times, nobody even offered to help me out. All they wanted, some of my two sisters, all they wanted to know is if I was to pass away, is whether I was going to leave them any money in my will, because I owned my own landscaping company at the time, and I owned some rental properties.
hold on.
It's
So
crazy. That's why I was saying blood, blood. What isn't always family. It's the people that you hold dear to your heart.
yeah, I believe that too. Q says age is just a number. It's our experience in life that teaches us. Yeah, it's just that as you get older, have more experiences to learn from. You know, so I
Yeah.
agree. And then I'll on top of that, I'll say that at 30, you have a lot more ex, experiences that you're gonna endure throughout your life, man. But just know one thing, Q. I'm rooting for you, bro. You know what I mean? I'm rooting for him.
It, it doesn't matter how old you are. You always can change for the better, improve your life that makes you the happiest. However, the older you become, the harder it becomes to make those changes. So it's best early in life try to refrain from making poor choices and work on something that make each day a little bit better than yesterday and keep moving forward. Because poor choices, sooner or later, they catch up with you.
And they add up and they stack up. And that's why I said that in the video where I was walking in the park. You know, this life is just a series of small decisions. You know, and they add up over time, and they become the life that we're living today. So if you're making bad decisions, they're gonna add up over time, man. And
Yeah.
Sis Lilith says, Blizz, is this all about human rights or what? No, no.
The,
This is about
the,
us personally, individually, you know.
the sad truth is, Father Time humbles all. So sooner or later, Father Time's going to come collecting, and when he does, he's not going to accept your poor excuses for the choices you made in life. It's up to you to make the life that it's up to you to create the life you deserve. Nobody else is going to do it for you, and it's hard. You know, doesn't matter if you're trying to live a life of comfort, never trying new things to improve yourself, to somebody that works hard each day to make a better version of themselves.
Yeah,
Everybody has their own problems, and even some people look at the problem and they go, "Oh, my problem is worse than yours," and that might be true. But that what
yeah,
people don't understand, the people still go through the same emotions. It's not so much always the problem; it's the emotions that the person goes through.
yeah. That's people do that. That always gets me when people do that. Oh, my leg hurts. Well, my arm hurts. Like, bro, like you know what I mean?
Well,
Always
I had a
comparing.
stroke and almost died,
Yeah. So
but
W Secret says at one time I just checked your channel out and we brought a high top fade pimpin'. By the way, I'm a Creed fragrance guy. I like chrome for some reason. I like chrome. I got some right here. You gotta do a review on that. What time? Let me know what you think of it. Chrome, Chrome
When
Mazzaro.
you said
I
Chrome,
love, I love it.
when you said Chrome, I was thinking of Google Chrome.
Oh, Q
But
says everybody live their life their own way. There's no such thing as good or bad because even the bad guys got the reasons what they're doing. Yeah, but as a society, I'm not gonna push back on you that much. You know, as a society, we've come together and decided some things are bad. You know what I mean? Some things are worth punishing. But other than that, I don't judge anybody. As long as you're not committing crimes, I have nothing. It's really gonna be no judgment from me. You know,
it's like I said,
but
if
I do have
somebody
opinions. We all have our opinions.
if somebody's not breaking the law or not hurting other people and they find happiness in their life, who am I to judge who their
Yeah.
happiness, the choice they make? You know, I'm a firm believer in enjoying life and letting others do the same, unless they give you reason not to, and that usually has to do with breaking laws or hurting other people.
Yeah, he says, would you commit a crime if someone kills your loved one? Absolutely. I would try to if I was absolutely. But then again, you on the flip side of that, you can't say that, oh well, there's a reason why the bad guy killed my loved one. So you know what I mean? So it's kind of like certain things, certain things just, can't pass that test. You know what I mean? Because I would absolutely, if somebody killed one of my loved ones, I'm gonna do probably anything I can to get back at them, and that's just me. I'm not saying that's right or wrong or noble or not. I just know that's how I feel right now. Who knows if that actually happened? Who knows? You know,
Yeah, under certain circumstances that may change the say
yeah,
like
it may
you're
change.
dating say like you're dating a woman and you're in love with her and then you come to find out her husband killed her because she was cheating on him and you was the man that she was cheating with. So do you get
Nah,
angry
when
and
I when I
upset?
when I think of loved ones, I'm thinking me. I'm thinking wife, uh,
Wife, yeah, I understand.
kids, brother, maybe a girlfriend, maybe a long term girlfriend. Not somebody I'm cheating with. You know. But he says, so then you become the bad guy.
The a
I
long
never said
time
I was I never said I was a saint. I'm absolutely not a saint, you know. Absolutely. And I'm not
or
above it. I'm not
perfect.
above. I don't put myself above anything, you know. I think we're all capable of doing different things if we need to, you know.
Yeah,
And
I
at what time then
reckon.
you already know creed for life. Oh, we got another spicy torpedo today. Nice guys finished last. But MK, you're a nice guy, bro. You're a nice guy, man.
He's a nice guy until he starts pushing Brett's buttons. He
you're,
seems to enjoy that.
you're a nice guy, man. MK's a nice
Yeah,
guy.
in general, they're
But that
nice guys.
doesn't, it doesn't mean be a pushover. Don't be a pushover. Don't let people take advantage of you. That's not what I see as a nice guy. I mean, a nice guy is just somebody who's, courteous, looks out for others. You know what I mean? Humble. I guess any adjective you want to use. You know.
I say become a good man without letting others mistreat you in life. You know, you got
Yeah.
a good man is he goes by his principles, his values, and his boundaries, and he don't let people cross them. Where more of the nice guy, he'll bend over backwards trying to please somebody else, even at his own unhappiness.
Yeah.
And that's how I usually state a good man in general.
I'll be honest. I bent over backwards um for
We
years,
all
and
guilty
I
of
and I
it.
did it willingly. I did it willingly, and some of it I would do again. Some of it I would do again. You know, absolutely, without a question. It
I
says
also
society programs you to be nice so they can use you and take advantage of you.
that's
I don't know.
why I
Society is
don't.
just us. Society is just us. When I think of society, it's just us, man. It's us collectively. It's me. It's you. It's your neighbor. It's your brother. Your mother. That's society, man. In my opinion, I may be wrong. That's how I see it.
That's why I don't conform to the world's expectations. I live the life that makes me the happiest.
Yeah, but that's also why it's important to ask ourselves: Is this worth the fight? You know,
Yeah,
is it worth it? You
I
know,
tell
sometimes
people.
it's okay to be selfish and say, "Nah, nothing in it for me." We don't do it all the time, but you know, sometimes ask yourself that, man, what's in it for me? I used to think guys that asked that all the time or acted that way were selfish and it was wrong, you know. And I get what MK is saying because I did feel like society um wanted me or expected me. It was expected of a man to sacrifice everything, everything for their loved one. And then whatever's left, that's what I have for me.
Yeah, some battles help shape you to become the man that you want to become. Um, they teach you how to endure, how to channel your emotions, how to how to anchor yourself in peace when you're in a storm of chaos. And the right battles to make you wiser, make you more patient and more courageous.
Yeah. Just a good man with honor.
But so everybody knows here, what I knew what Blizzard's live was going to be about. So what I did is I wrote my comments down on ChatGPT of all my thoughts, and then I used ChatGPT to help polish them to make it easier for people to relate to and understand. But I didn't let it change what I was my truth. Because sometimes you can type something in ChatGPT and it'll write something completely different that doesn't even line with what you was trying to
Yeah,
say.
yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with AI unless you're letting it talk for you. You know what I mean? Unless you're letting it think for you. You know. Juice, what up,
And
brother? What up, man? It's good to see you, man. He says, what's up, Blizz in the chat? I made it. Glad you made it. Glad you're here. I'm not doing 5, 6 hours tonight. I promise you, I'm not doing it. Not doing it tonight. Um, Lilith says it's not the society program. Us, it's our family. Yeah, but it's also I think it's your family. It starts with your family, but then it's also, you're expected to act a certain way when you're out in public. You know,
it's
you're you're taught certain things in school. You know,
I think it's a little bit of mix of everything, and it just depends on the type of person you are. Is the one that influences you the most. You
yeah,
know,
you care what your neighbors think about you. You care what your neighbors gonna say.
it could
Maybe
be
not as much
fan.
as your family. Absolutely not as much as your family does, but you do. I do. You know what I mean? Not that I
It
really
could
give a
be
shit. I don't even know my neighbors. I live in America. I don't know my neighbors. Like I've spoke to them maybe like twice.
yeah.
It's sad, but that's how it goes.
It can be family, it can be friends, it can be social media, it can be the
Yeah.
government, corporations, movies,
But that's why I always
all
say
kinds of things
society is
that can
that's why I
influence
just
you.
say we say society like it's some big organization or something. But I say society is just us. It's people. It's regular people, and it's groupthink. And but that's natural.
Yeah, you have to. in life you have to fight the battles that build you up and not drag you down.
Yeah,
Fighting the same battle over again that doesn't add any value to your life. That's just a waste of time and energy. You have to sit down and reflect on yourself. Maybe even keep a journal to write down what's the most important in your life and work towards getting it. And yeah, sometimes some people move faster than others, but as long as you're moving forward, that's all that matters. Don't judge yourself by other people's progress and accomplishments because
yeah. I start
everybody.
journaling. I start journaling. I just record videos now. I just talk about whatever I want to talk about, even if I don't upload them. You know what I mean? I think it's been like therapy for me. I love it. I got Cisco in the back, so I'm gonna bring Cisco up. I'm gonna get these comments out the way. Probably respond if I want to or not. But Q says, in terms of relationship, ain't no fight. It's my way, or we can let the rubber meet the road. I agree. I mean, if that's the relationship you want, then I can't argue it what you want. Everybody doesn't want that type of relationship that can be over like this just because somebody does one thing you don't like. You know, everybody doesn't want that. I know I don't want a relationship like that. With somebody that doesn't have an opinion, that doesn't have a say. I want my woman to have an opinion, and I want to value her opinion. You know, I'm not over her. I still like, you know what I mean? Yeah, I lead, but I don't need to feel above anybody. I don't need to feel above anybody. Hey, Juice, he says, what time says 30 is a good age? It is a good age. It is a good age. Yeah, women in your family teach you to worship women. So did men back in the days. So did men. They taught us the same shit. Yeah, family is crabs in a bucket. Chrome this shit. Yeah, I love chrome, man. I had the oil of chrome in the perfume. Society's engineered to police itself. That's right. That's I'm looking at my phone. Like, that's not mine.
My phone was beeping. It could be
That's
immigration
Dennis
calling
Hopper's
me.
phone.
Could
That's
be
real cute,
immigration
Cisco.
calling me, telling me my marriage visa is ready.
Yeah, right. She can have an opinion and still be peaceful. Yeah, like I said, man. Some people, and I noticed this with some um expats, and I don't know. Like I said, to each their own. They don't want their wife to work, be bored and all that stuff. But I'm like, man, look, I want. If I'm with a woman, man, I want her to pursue happiness, just like I want to pursue my happiness, man. You know what I mean? And I think that's important. And for you to be with somebody and not want them to pursue their happiness and what fulfills them, it says something about you. And I'm not speaking to anybody in particular, but I think this is why I like having these conversations. This is why I like making making the videos I make. Because I'm not trying to tell you to think some way. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I just want you to stop and think. I just want to introduce ideas that maybe you weren't thinking about. You know, because we get it all the time. We see it all the time. These one-off statements, the one-off statements that when you really in these talking points that when you really, really break them down, you're not saying shit. You know, happiness for your woman may be with another man. It may be. It may be.
Just wonder
So
what
you
kind of
can't
women are a lot of these dudes dealing with, man.
you can't keep your woman locked up in the house though. You know.
it's like I hear a lot of people, and the saying, and it's a saying for a reason. I mean, people that they talk the loudest, and they they try to say the hardest stuff. It comes from insecurity, and I think there's nothing wrong with having standards of what you want in a relationship. But like you said, Blizzard, I mean, I don't ever want to be above somebody. I don't. I've got kids. I don't need another kid. I need a partner. I don't need somebody who's gonna, look to me for all the answers, or, you know, be at my beck and call. If that's what you want, I mean, that's what you want. Like you said, I mean, that's what you want.
Yeah,
But
I can't.
it just, like you said, it tells me what kind of person you are. That you need that in your life, to where you need to feel like a big man. Either, you know, your way or the highway. I mean, that's very, very telling.
Yeah,
Hey,
MK called you a simp. I said it, but I shouldn't even have said that. But he's a married man. I don't know how he's a simp. Like I don't get
Yeah, I
that. I
mean,
don't get that
he's
part.
he's
The
he's another
name calling and
keyboard
stuff.
warrior. I mean, that's
Yeah,
that's all
send
good. I mean,
name
you
calling.
can say whatever
We
you want on the internet.
we've been able to stay away from this type of stuff. You know what I mean? So we're gonna keep it respectful, man. We're gonna keep it respectful because, like I said last week. I said it last week, right? What did I say? Wasn't the woman? It wasn't society. It wasn't any of that. It's other men. It's other men that do this shit to each other. You know, and that's exactly what I'm talking. That's the type of thing I was talking about last week. It's other men, right? We blame society. We blame women, but who do we see attacking each other in these spaces all the time? It's us. We do it to each other, man. You know,
Well, you do have a lot of men attacking other men, but I mean, ultimately,
it's just
it's each individual that's doing it to themselves. I mean, a lot of these people are self-sabotaging themselves. They can't figure out why things go wrong for them all the time. They can't figure out why, they end up on the short end of the stick. And like you said, it's alpha victims, straight alpha victims. Everybody's out to get them. Everybody's trying to get over on them, and, just scared people, and
yeah,
I don't have time for that fear in my life. I mean, it's just, life's too short. Go out and find what makes you happy by all means. But
exactly.
you don't have to tear other people down in the meantime.
Yeah, I
I
won't
had,
do it. I won't do it. Like I said all the time, there's nobody in the world that I'm beefing with right now. There's nobody on the planet that could say Blizz did him dirty. Yeah, I did him wrong or nothing like that. And I appreciate that. You know what I mean? I'm not mad at anybody. I'm not holding any grudges. Um, and like I appreciate these brothers' opinions in here. I just don't agree with them. It's not the way I want to live my life. Like I don't want to have to put somebody into fear or to have to hold hold my wealth over somebody's head for them to do the things that you know that I want them to do. Not my partner, you know.
I,
And
I had,
I
I
want
had,
to know what happened though. What that's what I want. What happened to you guys that makes you think this way? It makes you act this way. Have you been in these situations before? Like, do you have kids? Do you went through a horrible divorce in the U.S.? You have your kids stripped away from you. What happened? Tell that story. You know, because then maybe we will understand where you're coming from. But just to get up here and make these statements, you know, um, out of nowhere, out of thin air, it just to me, it just seems like talking points. You
I
know,
had,
to me, it just seems like talking points.
I
Go
had
ahead,
two
Adam.
things I'd like to say.
You're kind
One,
of low.
one, I like for long-term relationships, it's about two people working together to build a better life. That's always how a long-term relationship lasts. Two, when we talking about people point finger, people, men being against men, women being against women, it's always easier to point the finger at the other person and talk about their problems instead of fixing your own problems in your life. It's always been that way. And some people, they rather seek validation instead of solutions in,
Yeah,
to
Ron
their
Lawson.
problems.
Appreciate you stopping by, brother. Ron Lawson, man. Checking in. Kamal says other men the whole damn time. Yeah, I believe that. He says, yeah, Q. Just because it's pay for play, objectification. I don't know. You're 30, man. You're young. Like I said, you're young. You got a whole lot of life to live, man. And I wish you the best. Um, weak men let women make decisions because they don't want to be responsible or accountable. That's a who hurt you shaming
That's
tactic.
hilarious.
You know, it is what it is. But
I hear, again, I just hear weakness and insecurity when I hear all these talking points. It's just I don't get it, man. Like you said,
MK,
I
Q
don't
and
understand
MK
where it's
agree with
come
each
from.
other.
No, I'm sure they do.
I want
They
to hear
two
the
of a kind.
backstory though. I want to hear the backstory behind this though. Like I want to hear, and not particularly these guys, but just the red pill guys. You know what I mean? Tell me about how you got fucked over, man. You never hear that part. What you see is you
And,
see them pop up somewhere, in the Philippines, living their best life. They don't never
and
tell
why
you
are
what
you
they
so
what
scared of
they went
women? I mean,
through.
that's what it seems like. You're scared of women. You're so scared of women. Like women, like did a woman hurt you? Did she make you feel icky? Like how did you get to the point where you're just too afraid to let a woman be on your level? Like you
Free
you you
will,
don't feel like you can overcome
free will,
what she
man.
has to say? I don't get it, man.
I don't know. I don't know how. I mean, were you this way when you got off the plane in the Philippines? Did you know everything? The woman didn't make no decisions. You just knew everywhere to go. You knew everything about the Philippines. So she's just following you around. Or did you need her to point things out to you to help you navigate society? You know, I don't know. We know
I
women.
think I think a
And like I
lot of
said,
people.
Q, I'm not really I want you to come up here so you can say this yourself. It's easier for you to just come up to the panel, uh, you know, and say it. You know what I mean? Instead of typing 50 that's 50 things in the chat. But Juice says I agree with what's being said that men often undermine other men without a just reason. And some men allow themselves to be tools of females who use men to diss other men. He says we know
I,
women. Just
I
we
think a
know
lot.
women.
I think a lot of people's negative opinions comes from never taking the time to heal their wounds from the past. They still carrying that wound on with them. Instead of really seriously taking the time to heal, they just do all these little band-aid solutions that never last. You have to really look deep down within inside yourself.
No, I think a lot of these, and I said it before, I think a lot of these red pill men haven't been through the things that they're railing against. You know what I mean? And that's why I want to hear the story. But every time we ask them, hey, brother, what's your story? They don't say anything.
Yeah,
And that's
because
the
they're
frustrating
scared.
part.
I mean,
That's
that's
the
the thing I'm
frustrating
saying. I
part.
mean, they're
Like
very scary
I've came
people.
up here. I've came up here and said I've been divorced. I had to fight for custody for my son when he was 10. I've been a single father. I got a baby mom. Well, she passed away. Like I've said all that stuff. I don't and I'm still not bitter. I'm still not bitter. So I don't know. But that's what we
Yeah.
want to hear. Cause then I could say, all right, he been through it. I understand why he feels this way and why he feels this way about women and child support and the family court system. Like he has a reason. But if you're not gonna say what happened to you or what you've been through, then it just sounds like you're repeating other people's talking points. You know, y'all still doing the same thing as yesterday. Nah, I'm not attacking nobody. We're just challenging ideas. I'm not definitely not gonna do personal attacks. I'm not
What's
gonna
up,
do personal
Thomas?
attacks. And how you doing, brother?
Yeah, we got
Thomas
we
Marshall.
got people already doing personal attacks. And, I mean, like I said, it's people that are insecure and scared. You know, talking tough behind a keyboard, that ain't tough. Talking about somebody's wife, that ain't tough. Talking about women like they're beneath you, that ain't tough. Like I said, I just hear weakness, and if that hurts somebody's feelings, I'm sorry, but I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. I mean, if all you can do is attack people, you know, for zero reasons other than
Yeah, accusing.
what, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I'll
can't
give
I
you the
can't help
floor,
you.
brother. Whenever I'll be back up here Friday. Well, Saturday in the Philippines. If you got
We
time. It's a Saturday, so I don't know if you got it off, and I'll be back up here Saturday. If you want to come up, like I said, man, I don't got nothing wrong with you. You going back and forth with Cisco, but I don't think anything has been said yet to where it's going to be a point of no return.
Well, I mean, he's already disrespected my wife last night, tonight, and like I said,
I
it
missed
don't mean
last
anything
night
to
about
me.
the wife.
Yeah, but it don't mean nothing to me. I mean, it's some random person behind a keyboard that is not a factor in my life other than you know he's on this chat right here. But like I said, that's the kind of individual that Q is. He talks out both sides of the neck,
I mean,
and
I don't know him. I don't
he's
know him.
I
So
mean,
neither
just
one of
what
us
I know of
know.
him here. Yeah, what
Yeah,
I know
this
of
is
him
just
here. I mean,
online, and that's the thing
he's
about it, it's
he's a
online.
tough
It's
guy
online.
online. When you see him on his little videos and stuff, he seems like a nice guy. I mean, I definitely thought he was a nice guy when I seen him on his videos. Got in his live, and he
I
seemed
think it
like a good
is.
dude.
You
And
guys gotta.
but then
You
he
can either
comes out with
hash it
this
out,
stuff, and
or
it's
you guys can either
yeah,
hash it
nah,
out, or we just
I'm
gonna
done
leave
with
it
hashing
alone.
out with that
Yeah,
dude. Yeah,
we
I
just
mean, you
gonna leave
can't
it alone,
disrespect my
man.
wife, and there's a point of return. I mean, that's over with. But like I said, I mean, it's just
Yeah, we
that's
not
kind of
gonna.
par for the course.
All right, see, is it worth the fight for me? No, it's not. Sorry, man. But I, please don't say anything else about Cisco's wife, bro. You know, on this channel.
People only have the
We gonna do
power.
that. Yeah.
People only have the power that you give them. So if you let people
Exactly.
get up, if you let people get under your skin for simple things, then how you gonna handle the real problems in the world? But at the
No,
same
that's true.
time, but at the same time, a certain level of disrespect continue that is
Yeah.
continuous.
See, he
You
apologized.
know,
He said, "My
you need
apologies.
to add it.
That went too far, man." Yes, and he says, "It's all bullshit. Respect one another. Yeah, we gotta be there for each other, bro." And
And if you
like I said, I know I don't think it went too far, in my opinion. You know, I've heard way worse. Like I said, it's a keyboard. I think if you guys met in real life, probably be cool. You know,
No, it wouldn't be
and
cool.
we just leave it at
That's
that.
that's what we
You
wouldn't
know,
be. I mean, like
you
I
don't
said, I mean,
know.
there's
You
just
don't know.
there's no, I know, because there's lines that you just don't cross. You don't mess with a man's family. And like I said, he's a random dude on YouTube. So it's not going to affect my life one way or the other. But if now you want to apologize, you don't do that, man. I mean,
Nah,
I don't know any man in here who would take another man disrespecting his wife and then that dude apologize just out of the blue. Oh, my apologies. Man,
nah.
come on,
But he
quit.
offered it. He offered it,
Yeah, that
so you
yeah,
could
he
accept
can
it,
offer that.
or you could just bow out of this back and forth, please. And just it is what it is, man. We are grown. Um, like I said, ain't nothing nobody can say to me on YouTube. I think that'll get me hot. You know what I mean? We've been through too much in real life to be up here arguing on the
I,
fucking internet, man. You know,
I think he offered an apology. It'll probably take a little time for Cisco to accept it, and for Cisco to
it is
accept
what it
it,
is.
he'll have to see by actions and words if the person
But,
really means what he says.
Yeah,
but
I
that's
don't
why
know.
I
I
like
mean,
I
I'm a
like
different kind of guy, I guess, then because like I said, I'm somebody who I protect my family, and that my family means more to me than anything. And if you don't even know
yeah,
me,
but
you don't know my family, and for you to just get on here and I can
it's
take
the internet,
whatever.
man. That's the
Yeah, no, I
internet
know this.
nowadays,
I,
man.
I I know this, but I don't accept that though. You know what I mean? It's the internet, but the internet's going to be what we accept it to be. And if dudes can run around disrespecting people's families, like I said,
Yeah,
whatever I say to you that hurt your feelings or made you feel bad, we can always go back and forth, and that's fine. I'm prepared for that.
it's bullshit.
But I
Like
mean, it
Thomas
is. It's
Marshall said,
bullshit.
it's bullshit, man.
It's all bullshit,
All right.
and like for you to talk like that, for you to be so cavalier about disrespecting a man's wife that you don't even know, dude, you don't even know me.
Yeah,
You
I
don't
don't
even
know what
know
he
me.
said. I don't know what he said last night.
I took some
I don't.
screenshots. I can send them to you,
Yeah, I
but
don't remember. Nah, I don't
it's
even
all
want to see
good.
him. I don't even want to see him. If you said you're not gonna accept this apology, fine, we'll move on. We just gotta move on. Cause like I said, man, please don't do it again on this channel. Like it is unacceptable, man. It is unacceptable. You know. So let me move on to this point right here. I'm not Juice says I'm not red pill. Barely know what it means, but I cite one scenario for you, Blizz, that I think many men deal with. It's a tactic of shaming men to do certain things for women, wife, girlfriend. Yeah, but all right. If you want to know what red pill is, we got MK. Um, you got MK. He's red pill. Admittedly, he's red pill. So if you agree with what he's saying, then you probably lean towards red pill. You know, and then on
I'm I wouldn't consider myself red or blue pill. I wouldn't know what pill to put categorize
yeah,
myself
I'm
into.
neither. I said I'm neither. I'm just me. That's it. I don't give a fuck.
Maybe purple
I've
pill
never
because
fit
red and
into
blue.
those. No, I never fit into those categories. I never in my life, and nobody fits completely into one of those categories either. And if they tell you that, they're lying. They're lying. You know, they're absolutely lying. You know, and he says the tactic of shaming men to do certain things for women, wife, and girlfriend, and that's exactly why we need to practice boundaries and standards.
It's just not.
Boundaries and standards.
It's just not shaming. Sometimes it's just pure pressure from other people. They try to pressure into doing things that naturally go
Yeah.
against your values.
And
You
don't
know,
stay with nobody that's gonna publicly shame you, you know, or use those tactics on you. What are you doing with a person like that? And this is what I mean about boundaries and standards. You know, boundaries are what you accept people around you to do to you. You know what I mean? The way people talk to you, the things people expect from you, and then standards are just certain things that are mandatory um, from the people that you allow to be in your life. You know, not preferences. Preferences are go back and forth. You know, you see these women nowadays, and now you're starting to see men with them, and they got this long list of things that they must have, but their preferences. Because if you can take one or two things off that list, it's not a standard because standards are unmovable. Your standards don't change. Preferences change all the time, you know. So, for example, um, I know we got people that love Filipino women in the chat in here today. They may think that that's the standard, but it's not. It's a preference. What I mean is that if you find yourself in Thailand and you see a beautiful woman, you know, you might go, you might lean towards that way, you know, or if like women in America say 666, you know, for the most part, they'll take one of those sixes off if they like you. So it's not a standard, it's a preference. And that's why I don't really pay attention to none of that shit. Because like I said before, I've dated women who I didn't fit all of their so-called preferences. And they didn't care because they liked me.
And I think that's the thing is that when when you have character, you have standards that are realistic, and you're consistent with who you are. That's what draws people to you. And I think that's the thing with you is that you're very consistent. And again, I don't agree with a lot of the stuff that you say. I agree with, there's a lot of stuff that I do agree with that you say, but the way that you think things through is consistent. And there's a reasoning behind it. There's a rational way that you're thinking about these things. It's not just you pulling it out of your ass, and you're thoughtful about it. And I think that's the thing is that when you have that kind of attitude towards life in general, you know, people will gravitate towards you, and you will have a better chance of being successful in life. That's what was taught to me. Don't go through
Yeah, I
life
agree.
looking to just find what's going to make you happy right now. Don't go through life looking to take advantage of other people. Don't go through life thinking that you're untouchable. Understand that You're just like everybody else, you know, be humble, you know,
None
stand
of
up for
us are that
yourself.
important.
No, not
None
one
of
of
us are
us. And
that important, man.
we're all replaceable in any relationship, and we're all replaceable in any job. You know, it's the people who are close to you that you're irreplaceable to, and that's what matters. You know, those people that you have in your circle, those are the ones you have to worry about. I don't worry about my job. I don't worry about, you know, the internet people. You know, I worry about the people that I'm close to. That's first and foremost. So, I mean, I think that's what makes you, you know, successful in life.
I think when it comes to
Respect
family,
other people's opinions.
friends, and partners, you have to maintain what brought you together. You know, you have to maintain what brought you together while, you know, trying to figure out how the world works and how you fit into it. You know, it's about uplifting each other and not dragging people down. Somebody should bring peace in your life. If they bring in chaos, then you really need to think. You need to look within yourself and decide: do you want to keep that person around you that is always dragging you down, creating problems for you? Doesn't mean that you don't love them, that you don't care about them. But some people you have to love and care about them from a distance.
Yeah. He says, I think we go through phases as to what type of women we like. Right now, I'm liking Asian women, and that's why I came to the Philippines.
Get some, Thomas, get
Yo,
some.
do you, bro? And I could tell you happy, man, just by how you
Hell
interact
yeah.
in the chat, man. And I love that, man. I love
Yeah,
that.
man.
And I
More,
see
more, more. I love rooting for people, man. I love
Yeah.
seeing people be successful. It does something for me, man. You know, I'd rather cheer for somebody winning than to boo for somebody that I don't like losing. You know
And
what
it
I
gives
mean?
you hope, man. It gives you hope for yourself.
Absolutely, man. If I see them winning, I know I can win. When I seen Cal over there
Right.
talking, I was like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Like I could do this. You know what I mean? I can't do it. I can't walk in his footsteps, you know, because we all got different paths in life, but I see it. You know what I mean?
as Icy says, do you, boo boo?
Yeah,
Oh, man.
exactly, bro. Juice says Blizz. Juice says Blizz. In a perfect world, yes, leave. But if you have to weigh it out, it ain't like there's anything better out there. Sure, there's someone, but generally pickings are slim. You're rolling the dice. I don't know, man. Like that's like what do they call that? Scarcity mindset,
Yeah.
you know.
Juice,
And I
where are
like
you
to say,
from? Where are you from, Juice?
Chicago.
Oh,
Or he's
well,
in
damn.
Chicago, I think. I don't know how many. Like I said, I don't know how many women is in Chicago. I don't know how old you are or who you hang around and that like that.
I don't know.
But
If you can't find a good woman in Chicago, I don't know where you, I don't know. I was a
it's
huge
subjective
city.
though. You know, good is subjective.
Yeah.
My,
Chicago's a
your
huge
definition of
city.
good is not the same definition of good to him. But I don't know how many women are there. You know, I don't know. Like, but I would say, switch it up. Whatever you're doing, switch it up. You know, because I don't know how old you are, Juice. Um, do
The
something different, man. Whatever you're doing, do something different.
Yeah.
And
Do
maybe you
something
won't.
different.
Maybe you will find love. Maybe you won't. Maybe you'll find somebody that you just like and y'all friends. I don't know. You know,
My
but
definition of insanity is keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different outcome. You know, you can't
yeah,
keep doing the same stuff over and over without making changes. Only changes make can help create progress. You know, and some of them may work, some of them don't work. But I also say success is paved with the failures of those who do not give up on themselves.
do something different. Like I had a guy that was emailing me, and he was like, we went back and forth for a while. It was a great conversation, and he was like this way. He wouldn't answer me when I asked him certain questions because he was like red pill to the core, you know. But we ended up kind of like being able to have like a cordial conversation back and forth. But I told him, I said, bro, you gotta get out of your comfort zone, man. If you can't travel overseas, go to the other side of the city. You know what I mean? Go to the next state. See some different shit. Talk to people that you wouldn't normally talk to. I have an app on my phone. I don't even really use it no more. It's called Meetup. It's called Meetup, and it's not a
Mm.
dating app. It's not a dating app.
Yeah,
It's
I used to use that.
it's for like people interest, people with the same interests meeting up, groups. So I don't know what you're into, Juice, or anybody else in here. If there's something you're into, like a hobby, hiking, there's a group that goes hiking. You know what I mean? Chess. They have chess groups. They have all type of shit. They even have it in the Philippines. This app is available in the Philippines too. But what I mean by that, it's like this will put you around people who have at least some of the same interests that you
Yeah.
have. Doesn't mean they're all going to be good, but at least you're getting out of whatever comfort zone you're in. And I know, like, it seems cheesy, but believe me, bro, you never know if you don't try it. So I would
I
suggest
think
downloading that app and just giving it just thumbing through it, seeing what kind of groups they have in there, when they meet up and all that shit, and just give it a shot, man. It's better than
and
sitting in the
maybe
house. You know what I mean?
and maybe turn the mirror at yourself too. I mean, that's the advice I was given was, when you look around, all you see is problems. What's the common denominator? You're the common denominator. And if you're looking out there and seeing all the problems and wondering why all these problems, look at the first thing you can do is look at yourself, because that's the one thing you have control over. You don't have control over the women in Chicago. You don't have the control over the women in California, New York, Philippines, wherever. You don't control them. You control yourself. And if you're finding that the women that you're getting, in relationships with are constantly a problem, again, you're the common denominator. I mean, obviously everybody's not having a problem. Other people are getting married, other people are happy in their relationships, other people are, quote unquote, living the dream. It's not that you're unlucky. It's probably because you have a very narrow range of women that you're dealing with, and you need to widen your range a little bit. Or maybe, the qualities that you're looking for are just a little off. And, maybe adjusting those things and changing how you're going about finding these women and courting them or what have you, that's going to make the
Yeah,
difference. Just
because
work on the things you can control.
anything you find in the States, you're gonna find overseas too. Yeah, I'm be
Correct.
honest.
Exactly.
Like, so, to see some of these dudes that went to Thailand and they're like showing the women they're dating or whatever, and I'm like, bro, she, not to be judgmental, but I've heard some of them, like, they're calling the dudes the N word with the A at the end. You know what I mean? It's like,
Mm,
you could get that right here at home. You can get that right here at home. You know?
Yeah, but also the N word in different countries when it comes to locals, it can have a different meaning to them,
No,
and
no,
they
not
don't
this one.
they. But at the same time, a lot of them don't understand the N word because it's within America and countries that had slavery and stuff,
No,
like
no,
in
I know what you're
Barbados.
saying. I know what
in a
you're
way, I
saying, but
agree with
that's
that.
not. I know what
You
you're
know, in,
saying, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking
That's
about
not that's not the
um
case
the
for
yeah,
what
that's
ones
not
you're
who
who Blizz
have.
was
talking
talking
about.
about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I
I get
understand.
That's
what
not who
you're
Blizz was
saying.
talking about. I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, it is confusing for people in other countries because they do hear they watch TV, they watch movies, and they hear black people in movies all the time saying and this and that, and in their mind,
and the music.
they think, oh, that's just how you in music, yeah, that's how they talk, and they're actually trying to be friendly to you and trying to connect with you, and they'll say that. So there is that type of person, but I don't think that's who Blizzard was talking. He's talking about people that are just being racist.
Not even racist. Not racist, but I don't mean it that they're being racist. I mean that they're allowing themselves to be called that. That's the crowd that they're hanging around. These women have become comfortable dealing with black men that go over to Thailand. You know what I mean? And for some reason, they've given them the N-word card.
Mm, yeah, I
You
don't
know,
get that one.
I don't get it, but I've seen it. I've seen it. You know, I'm not saying it's prevalent, but I know I've seen it, and I'm like, dude, you could get that right here in the good old USA. Ratchet. It does
Well,
exist. Ratchet does exist overseas. I've seen it with my own eyes.
you go overseas to create a better life than the one that you had back home. So why would you go overseas with creating the same old problems, making the same old mistakes you made back home?
Yeah,
It's
Corey
about
Moore, what up, bro?
it's about improving yourself. Then, if you're interested, take your time and find a partner that aligns with your values. You know, I think a lot of people today overcomplicate things more than what they actually need to be, and that has to do with family, friends, society, and media standards. You know, because life was a lot more simpler when you let people just enjoy their life. You know, but now everybody's got to stick their nose in it, even the government these days. And
I don't
and
know,
and
man.
and, and in some cases, the government needs to intervene, but in most cases, they just need to mind their own business.
Yeah, Q says if you want a live body, then sure you'll find a fine. You you find a girl in Chicago, but a quality, loyal one that's slim to none is from there. How do you? I don't know how you can make that statement, bro. And that's what I'm saying. You're making definitive statements about. I don't know how many people live in Chicago. Let me see something. Excuse my
No,
typing. I'm not.
Gotta be like a million, over a million people. I mean, it's a lot of people live in
A
Chicago.
couple million, probably.
Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, yeah, to me, again, there's a lot of talking points and, that alpha victim stuff. But I mean, there's,
Yeah,
there
it's
are a lot of,
2.7 million people in
yeah,
Chicago.
man. I mean, come on. Like I said, again, I don't know what Juice is looking for. I wish him luck. I hope he finds what he's looking for, or at least I hope he finds
He
what's
says
best
he's
for
from
him.
there.
Yeah, he's
He's
from
from
there.
there.
I hope he
Well,
finds what's best for him, but,
me too.
don't give up.
well,
But he's in the
the
Philippines and he's happy, and that's what I'm.
Oh,
That's
there you go.
yeah. He's in the Philippines and he's happy, and I can't say anything about that. I wish you more happiness and success. What I'm saying is that just let that be then. Like the
exactly.
guy from last night that out of nowhere brings black women into the conversation we were having on
Oh
Calvin's
yeah.
channel.
What the
And I'm
hell?
like, what the hell? Where'd that come from? Why does that always have to be thrown out there? You know what I mean? I didn't get that, but we're having discussions. We're talking, you know, and I guess that's good. That's
If you're
literally good.
happy in the Philippines, then leave everything else in the past. Don't hold it. You can don't let your past chain you down. In other words, move forward in life. Yes, you can tell your stories, but don't use it as your how can I word it? Don't use it as like hiding still hiding behind walls. You have to move forward in life. You can't just keep holding on to the past. I say when learning to fly, you must let go of the things weighing you down in life. You know.
Yeah. So Thomas Marshall says, if you don't come to the Philippines, go somewhere and see something different. I love America, but there's so much out here to explore. Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. I agree with you on that one. I
That's one
agree
of the
with you.
best things you can do as a human being is get outside of where you live, get outside of your state, get outside of your country.
See, I don't have this view of America that these guys have because even though like I've had my share of ups and downs in relationships, um, I don't just focus on the bad times, the hard things. I see the 360 of it, the good times that were there too. You know what I mean? And yeah, my marriage didn't work out. It didn't work out because of me, you know, because of the things that I did. But I'm mature enough, I'm grown enough to look in the mirror and be like, yo, maybe it wasn't all her. This is the part that I have to take accountability for. And that's all I'm saying. Take
Yeah.
accountability for the part you play, for the role you play in things. Fuck everything else, but at least be able to look at yourself and say, hey, I need to improve this. Right? You would do it in the gym. Why can we do it in the gym? Oh, I need to get rid of this gut. Or you know what I'm saying? Like I need to buy me a new pair of sneakers. I don't like them. But you can't look at your temper. You can't look at that you drink too much. You can't, you know what I mean? You can't look at those things.
It's like
Yeah.
Adam said, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. When you have a bad relationship, you know, stop focusing on what the other person did, because it's done. There's nothing you can do. You can sit there and curl up and cry about how they did you and how bad of a person they were, but that's not going to change anything moving forward. If you plan on having a better relationship in the future, thinking about what your ex did, and obsessing on
Not gonna
that is
help.
not going to help you.
It's not gonna
Look
help.
at yourself and say, you know what did I do that made me want to be with somebody like that? What did I do that allowed somebody like that to come in my life and just bring
Exactly.
that toxicity in my life? What did I do that brought the toxicity out in them? Those are the kind of things that you can change, that your next relationship, you'll have a better time with it.
When a relationship
Let me say
fails,
this. Hold on. Let me say this. My condolences. What time? For your brother-in-law, man.
I'm sorry
Oh
to hear
man,
about
May he
time,
that.
rest in peace, man.
man, Time's been having some rough family situations, man. Heart
Yes.
goes out to you, brother.
Q in the Phillies. What Uncle Cal say? Do you want a Big Shirley or a Yummy Six? Honestly, I just want somebody to compatible with me right now. The age I'm at, I want somebody to compatible with me. That's it.
In
That's
in
all I'm
other
asking.
words, in
Do
other
I
words,
care about opinion? Yeah. I mean, appearance. Yeah, I do, but it's not number one on the list anymore because I'm not 25. I'm not even I'm not the same man I was at 35. You know. So
Blizzard
and you
wants.
gotta be real. A lot of dudes you hear that Big Shirley shit coming from, they ain't looking too good theyself, man. And that's the thing. Uh, could you get a big a Yummy Six overseas? Yeah. But like most guys say, you're gonna be paying for everything. And half of the guys don't want to do that back in the States. You got guys complaining about that back in the States. So it's a give and take. It's a give
So
and take.
so Blizzard just wants somebody that brings peace into his life instead of chaos.
At this age, yeah.
And
I've
at
done all
some
the smashing I need to, not all of the smashing I need to do. But
Wow,
I
brother.
don't not all, but
you got
that's not the
that,
priority in my life right now. It's really not.
it's got to be some attraction there, but it's not. It doesn't take priority.
No, it's not number one. It's not number one.
No,
I've been with beautiful women in my life. I was with a beautiful, beautiful woman for 13 years. And that ended. It doesn't sustain relationships. Sex doesn't either, you know.
and
I don't think submission does either. I think there's a lot of different things that go into why a relationship works out.
but to go back and talk a little bit in a failed relationship, it's not always taking responsibility for what you've done wrong. It's also taking responsibility for what you allowed that caused the failure in the relationships. And you
Yeah.
have to really look. You have to really
Listen
look
to
into yourself to figure out what that is.
Yeah. He says, facts. Single men need to date international. I mean,
Well, I'm
like I said, I've dated international. I'm nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. Um,
It's not for
but
everybody though.
it's not for everybody, and it's not an option for everybody. And just because it's
exactly.
good for you doesn't mean it's gonna be good for anybody. Statements like that is getting men in trouble because you'll make that statement, but not the whole other statements that that
I,
men are
I
getting conned. $1 billion industry and scamming, multi-billion-dollar industry from scamming,
I
and
tell.
people don't have
Well,
one thing that's missing in today's society is discernment, is critical thinking, right? So when you have these red pill gurus, they're just stating facts, they're not giving you their lived experience, There's a lot of men who become victims of the red pill gurus as well, not just the women, because they're not giving you the 360. Blanket statements like that is not giving you the 360. It's just a statement.
I mean, critical thinking has to be taught, and that's the problem, is that a lot of us don't get taught critical thinking. We just, are spoon-fed stuff and told to accept it and move on. Don't think about it, just do it. And it's not until you get older and you realize a lot of times the stuff that you were taught like that, it doesn't work. And then hopefully, if you grow, you do learn that critical thinking. You learn to, don't just take things at face value. Don't just take what people tell you and say, oh, that must be the way that it is. You have to figure things out for yourself.
Yeah. He says, comfort zone is often due to living in fear. Got to get out of that comfort zone to find real comfort. I agree.
Absolutely.
Time says, I like Asian women, period. Let me get through these. And then, like, if I go through one that you guys want to comment to, just make note of it and we'll circle back. Because Juices, I appreciate it, bro. Don't get me wrong, brothers. I'm trying to engage with the topic and everything I can grow and really appreciate it. I'm helpful comments, but I'm blessed, not perfect, but good. Appreciate, yeah.
Right, Juice.
I believe if blacks can use the N-word, then everybody should. It's the biggest hypocrisy. Everybody has their own little things. I think every group of people have their own little certain words. I don't go around saying the S word to Hispanic people. Good way to put it, Cisco. That's real shit. Yo, expert in the house. That's why black people shouldn't use the N-word. I don't like that wigga-ish either. So guys say the N-word over here, but they say it to be cool. They don't even know the derogatory context it's intended to. Thomas Law, checking that. What up, nephew? How you doing? What's the topic? Is it worth the fight?
What's up, Ray?
And that's personalized to whatever you're going through right now in life. Hey, girl, what's up? I'm from there. It's what I meant to put. Now I seen that. That's right, Blizzard. I was never jealous of another man. Me either. In Thailand, there seems to be a segment of girls that embrace segments of black culture, and they get way too comfortable with brothers. I do, and then the brothers be letting a lot of stuff go on that I personally wouldn't let go on. That's just me. Hey, what time I'm trying to live better than I did in the States. Life is precious. Live it to the fullest. Yep. Blizzard, I saw you call that ish out. Dude was places. Man. So basically, if anyone have an opinion that's not yours, it's wish you the best. Man, that's crazy word. Bro, I done dropped the link 150 times, bro. I'm just reading comments. But I do wish y'all the best, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you got to think the way I think. I'm just giving my opinion. But I open up the floor so you guys can come up here and give your opinion. I'm not just yelling at a screen.
What I would like to say earlier is to go where you're the happiest in life and understand nowhere is a perfect paradise. Every place is going to have its problems and it's going to have its trade-offs. You have to decide. You have to decide if that's right for you. Like me, I live in Thailand. Cisco's still back in America. I think Blizzard wants to remain in America. Other people in the Philippines.
No, I don't. I don't want to remain. I don't want to remain in America. I'm just not as bitter as some of these guys. Like I think we end up in the same place. I just don't have to trash what's around me because I want to go
I think you still decide.
Right.
You still deciding where your happiness belongs, whether it's in America or somewhere else.
I don't want to stay in America, but I'm not bitter here. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm trying to say. And that's the part that gets me. It's like it's not mandatory that you have to put America down because you want to live somewhere else, or you have to put American women down because you want to date other women. If that's what you want to do, just do it.
Are there things that
I'm rooting for you guys?
Are there things that I don't like about America? Sure. But I don't hold bitterness to it. I don't let that control my happiness in life. I did what I needed to do to create the happiness I deserve. And as of right now, after hard work, I'm pretty much enjoying life.
You said, man, y'all got to get y'all T levels checked. I need me a beautiful woman. Like, yo,
Get my
I don't need my T levels checked, and I can have beautiful women. It just doesn't matter. I'm not in competition with Q in the Philippines. Like, I'm not. Like,
why do I need to get my
why would
testosterone
you?
level
Why would I
tested?
care what your woman looks like
What's up, Icy?
unless I wanted it? You know, Icy in the
I'm
building. I heard smash. Yeah, I had to catch myself. Sissy Coy, break time. Appreciate you here. When you're chasing cat all the time, you're taking away from doing something more positive in your life. Yeah, exactly. DC in the house, Dylan. What up? How you doing, bro? Preach Blizz, Thomas, everybody saying hi. Critical thinking should be taught nowadays. Can't
There
join
we go.
tonight, 4:15. Yeah, me too. I got to get out of here early tonight anyway. I'll probably go to like 12:30, 1 o'clock, 12:30 at the latest.
what
Yeah.
time is it now where you're at?
Right now it's 11:11. Having a beautiful woman motivated you to progress. Why do you think men go to the gym? Why do you think wars are started subconsciously? We do everything. No, we don't, bro. That's your opinion. That's your opinion. And that's all we're stating. I don't think, in my opinion, that's not motivation for everybody. Beautiful women, it's gay men in the world. They're not doing anything for beautiful women. Like, I don't know. I don't know how that works. But you're stating your opinion. And like I said, it's welcome here. Your opinion is welcome here. Wars start for women. I don't think so, man. I know some have, but
I
they're not fighting over there. We didn't just drop that big ass bomb on Iran because of a woman. You know what I mean?
I did a video that says why self improvement fails when you just do it for women only.
Absolutely. Yeah, I stayed in America because of my daughters, but after their mother turned, bye, yeah.
My dog's
That's
staring
ugly.
on the outside.
Bliss has beautiful women around. Last time I checked. I don't know. I'm not in competition with nobody though. That's the thing, you know. But the American
I'm
people
happily
broad
married, so
brushing
I'm out of
actually
the game.
speaks more to the person's lack of intellect than anything else. Yeah, resources for women. Like Calvin said, man, I can't wait till you drop some of this on your channel, bro. But you're welcome to come up on my panel anytime, man. You know, I do things that I think a lot of people end up getting used and abused and becoming bitter, you know, because they do things for women. It's the same thing a lot of men are running from in the States. They feel used up, they feel objectified by women in the States. Those guys are also going overseas, you know. So I don't know how that really makes sense.
I think that goes back to the time where I say I don't believe men truly mature until they stop allowing the banana to control the happiness in life. You know, they're desperate. They're looking for lust. They're looking for companionship. They're so desperate and don't want to be lonely. The first person that pays attention to them, they latch on to them like a leech.
Nah, these dudes, these guys will tell you that every woman in America is a big Shirley. Every woman in America has an attitude. Every woman this, every woman that. And that you have to go overseas to find beautiful women that will cooperate you. And I just think that it's
choose different.
You haven't even dated all the women in your neighborhood, let alone all the women in your city, let alone all the women in your state, let alone all the women in your country. But you can say, "Oh, women are this." You know, like I said, it's the victim mentality. Victim mentality. That's what it is.
They turning my boy out too. Look, I tried to take out a new cat tonight on a date. Feel like a dick doing it, but wanted to move on. Didn't go well. A woman knew my ex-wife's best friend boyfriend. Life crazy, but it's life. Yeah. Might take a trip to the Pacific after this shit. These women are shit. It ain't the 80s anymore. Say it ain't so, bro. We gotta meet up in real life, man. I'm gonna call you next week, man. For real. We
And
gotta
you know
meet
what's
up.
crazy is women are saying the same thing about men. So
Yeah, it's back and forth.
hey,
Everybody's doing
man,
it, man. But I just think
yeah,
that we're rushing shit. We're accepting shit in the beginning. That's why I keep saying standards and boundaries, man. Standards and boundaries. You would nip a lot of this shit in the bud. You know what I mean? You don't go I don't go 13 years in a relationship. You know,
Standards with
if I
boundaries
stick
that
by my
have
standards,
consequences.
I don't go 13 years in a relationship. You know what I mean? I don't do it. You know?
No, I'm the type of person that puts trash in the garbage where it belongs. I don't always clean up,
I see.
not just myself, but the environment around me.
Yeah. Unpopular opinion. We're not dead. Beauty can be appreciated and will be appreciated. Stop the hypocrisy. Just be appropriate. Yeah, dead ass, bro. Dead ass. Thomas says, Tom, that's exactly right, Blizzard. There's plenty of beautiful women in America. You just gotta find the right one for you. Yeah, stop. Yeah, because a lot of men are desperate here too, and they're putting up with this shit. They're
Well,
putting up with the shit, that same shit that they're complaining about. They're putting up with it. That's how they get to the point where they're at. That's just my opinion, man. It's just my opinion.
why complain about the game if you keep hunting in the same old hunting grounds that doesn't
Right?
give you any results?
The first time that woman crosses one of your standards, you know what I mean? Just in my opinion, it's probably gonna happen very early in a relationship. Are you gonna walk away? And if you don't, and if you're putting up with that shit for years, maybe you don't come back 10 years later and blame it all on her. You know?
well, I mean, the problem too is everybody thinks they're the main character. And look, we can't all be the main character. Everybody
Main
sees
character
social
syndrome.
media. I mean, it's for real, and everybody has social media and everybody sees what's out there. And, for men, you see all these, gorgeous women and, just all this, these lifestyles that some of these dudes are portraying on the internet, and you think that you deserve that and you think you should have that. And then you go out there thinking that you can walk around like that.
Yeah.
And guess what? It's not gonna happen for you like that. Women, same thing. They see these, guys with Benzes and, mansions and blah, blah, blah. And they think, I deserve that. I deserve that. Well, in your mind, maybe you do, but the reality is everybody can't have a mansion. Everybody can't have, fancy cars.
Yeah, Q
What
says
you,
go,
what you,
go. My bad. Go ahead, bro.
no, no, I was just gonna say, I mean, just stop thinking you're the main character, man, and start thinking about what's best for you. It's not necessarily what you want all the time. Sometimes you got to be realistic about yourself and say, what's best for me, not just what you want, because you can't always get what you want, but you can get what's best for you if you look for it right.
Yeah, if you look for it right, the right way.
And
Q, and hold on, let me get through some of these. Go where you're celebrated, right or wrong. That's true. But just go for you. Be happy where you're at. Just because you're there doesn't mean that everybody need to go there. Everybody should go there. Just because you're successful doesn't mean everybody else is going to be successful. Just because it works for you doesn't mean it's going to work for everybody else. Just because you got to a point, whatever happened in your life, that was the catalyst for you to want to leave, doesn't mean that everybody's experiencing that. No offense meant, just an opinion. Agree to disagree. I agree. Women got standards too. Yup. That's just true. Emotions make you do crazy things. Yes. I believe normal people have standards. Some are just Lulu. Or a Drip TV. What
Serious.
up, bro? What up, man?
What's up, or drip?
Yeah, he says don't hate the player. Don't hate the player, hate the game. And I agree with the guys that want to go date overseas, that want to live overseas. I'm not pushing back against that. What I'm pushing back against is just the downing of every single every part of life you left behind. Like you didn't have any good experiences here. Like your roots are here.
Hmm.
You still ain't got people here, that love you and you love them. That you know what I mean? That you don't get lonely some nights over there. Like you know?
I,
I see someone set up. Like, bro,
Oh, look at
I
Mr.
think you on the right.
Apologies.
I said that you guys might not like my channel. I said it
Look at Mr. Apologies.
you have
because you keep
you
throwing
have
out these little things, bro. You better not
you
ever
have
do
to
a live stream, bro. I'm gonna be waiting in the comment section for you.
Yeah, that dude is
nah,
soft, man. He is a soft dude.
nah. We ain't gonna do that, man. We too grown, man. Like we too grown for that, man.
you have to write your own story in life. If you don't, somebody else will do it for you. But at the same time, in your story, if you're sharing it with others, they become part of the story. So you have to take into account of adding them to your story, not just what you want, but what are y'all sharing together to create a better story together. It doesn't. You can't sit there and go, "It's going to be my way, the highway," and all that. That's not how true relationships work. Now, are there people partners that will accept that? Sure, but you have to decide. Each individual has to decide if that's right for them.
Yeah. Thomas Marshall says, Cisco, I lived the American dream, but still wasn't happy.
I would
Some
love to hear
men really is
Thomas's story, man. I hope
happy.
Thomas will come up one day.
Wow, really, Thomas. Yeah. But I don't know about the whole. For me, it's like for some people, they didn't have the luxury of even believing in an American dream. Like I never believed in it, so that's why I've never been disappointed by it. To be honest, I just lived my life.
All I
Sometimes you learn they play victim. Hold on. Cisco, you are the main character of your own story, and what's best for you may not be best for the next individual. Yeah, but that's what he was saying was
I agree with
people
that.
are the
Yeah,
main character in life in general.
exactly. Exactly.
Like
You're
I
not the
was
main
just
character in
saying,
everybody else's story. You're the main character in your own story.
if not the main character in my relationship, let the rubber meet the road. You say that a lot, man. But like I said, I'm not really trying to be harsh on you or criticize you, man. I'm just pushing back on what you're saying. Because I can't tell you what to do in your relationship. Like, I don't really care what you do in your relationship. You know?
In my relationship, all that matters is that I'm happy. I could care less what other people think, unless I'm
Shy.
going around hurting other people and stuff, then yeah, then I take them back.
Or
I
is in the
listen to
cloud nine at this part of his life.
I listen to other people's opinions, and then I will reflect on it and see if I can apply it to my life. Not every piece of advice is right for everyone. You have to pick and choose what's right for you.
Oh, here they go. They about to start Thomas.
Oh boy.
Thomas is popular.
This brother's finally
But
found peace. They're just gonna try to
yeah,
get in on him.
that's the thing, man. I've been able to get through. I think this is my 14th live stream, so I'm still pretty new at it. I'm still pretty young.
Congrats, brother.
I've been able to get through these without personal attacks, without the bickering back and forth. And I don't think we've had like a serious problem so far. You know what I mean? But I ain't gonna lie, man. I will zap people. And I'm not trying to, I don't want to do it. And nobody has done anything to get to that point yet. Not even close. I don't think so. We can have disagreements back and forth, and that's fine. But I don't want this to turn into that at all. I don't want this to turn into that, man.
Well, I'll say this, Blizzard. First and foremost, I would never, purposely try to come on and disrespect you or your channel. This channel, and this channel is your world, and so I got to respect the rules and the way you run stuff. And the same with Cal, same with everybody. I don't go in, you know, and try to get out of bounds in what they expect. So I'll just say, you know, again, you know, Q, he can do and say whatever he wants to. Like I said, it doesn't affect my life one way or the other. But my line is when you start talking about my family, that's the line for me. If it had not been for that, I'd still be talking to this dude. And I'm not gonna go back and forth with him. I don't fuck with that dude no more. I mean, you can't talk about my family. I mean, that's the bottom line. But I mean, I definitely respect you. I respect your channel. And I love being able to have these conversations. And that for me, that's not going to change.
Yeah, because it takes it. Yeah, and I wasn't aiming that towards you. That was just in
No,
general.
I know,
I
bro.
did. I think I blocked one guy. I didn't even mean to block him. I meant to just time him out for a second because he came in and he was like disrupting the flow of things that we had going, and that's it. I want to be able to have men come here and just talk. You know what I mean? I don't like arguing. I don't like the bickering and fighting. I can't. I don't think I don't view it as my world. I just want a space for all of us, man. And then the women, and y'all could come in here and talk to. The panel's always going to be open. Outside of that first little segment of the stream. This is our place now. You know what I mean? This is going to be our place now. So if you ever want to come somewhere where motherfuckers ain't going to be arguing back and forth and yelling and screaming like the whole rest of YouTube is doing. I could go to Blizzard on Wednesday and Friday, and even though we disagree, even though we on two different opposite sides of something, I'm not going to be called stupid or idiot or none of that stuff, man. I'm going to be able to get my shit off my chest and keep it moving, maybe learn something or at least hear something from a different angle and a different perspective.
I don't have the time or energy to waste on negative people or arguing online. I don't really see a point in.
All right, Wishy.
Miss Wishy.
Statement received. I see that smile, Blizzard. If I was single, I'd call her bluff at Icy. I must watch my live stream for you to find out. There's the link again. He said both of you guys would be in trouble.
Wow.
You never know me yet. Tom, if you're not happy with her, you need to add one more. Liz, what's your PayPal? Honestly, I don't even know. Miss Wishy. Yeah, salute, Miss Wishy. Check her out, guys. Miss Wishy, Icy, Q in the Philippines, Cisco has got a channel. Expat living overseas has a channel. Who else in here got a channel? Kamal, or Drip TV, still waiting for an update, my brother. Beach of Life is on teetering, man. I want him to post one more video. I'm waiting. Because I always say this, Beach of Life, man, has excellent videos, man. And if he ever just started uploading, he'd be up there. He'd be up there in the top. So anybody wants to drop MINE in the chat, we're all small YouTubers, man. We're not going to support each other. Who else is? Wishy, are you polyamorous?
I think the whole point of life is lifting each other up instead of dragging people down. Too many people focus on dragging people down into their pit of despair.
Yeah, we're not about that. And me, it's like, yeah, I could disagree with you 100% on something, and still not attack you personally. I think Cisco says that I'll disrespect the fuck out of your opinion, but not you. You know, something like that.
100.
Paraphrasing.
No,
And I
beliefs,
agree.
beliefs and opinions don't deserve respect. I mean, beliefs and opinions don't deserve respect until those beliefs and opinions are, found to be, legitimate through, standards and testing them. But that doesn't change the fact that you as a person, you deserve respect. Everybody deserves to have an opinion. Everybody deserves to get their point across. But I mean, I love when people disagree with me, because I mean, I have no problem standing on the fact of what I say. And if you prove me wrong, that just boosts my respect for you. If you prove me wrong,
Yeah.
I mean, my respect for you goes up.
Yeah.
Well, in general, what I can say is I'm happy in life, and if it's not broken, why fix it? So I'll leave it at that. If something
I
needs to
agree.
be fixed
I
or
agree.
changed, then I'll do so. But since I'm happily married, I have to, work together with my wife to create a better life together. It's just not about me. It's about our partnership.
He
Yeah, that's what
says,
it's about.
Wishy, okay, you
Exactly.
talk some. You calling on Wishy out. He said, you talk some shit in here, but you really ain't about that.
Yeah.
I can say now I'm an old line with my battle scars. I'm happy with my pride. I don't really have to roar anymore. But if somebody comes up in my pride
Yeah.
creating problems and they don't leave, I won't even roar. I'll get up, walk up to them, and I'll devour them. And it's just simple as that. I don't.
Yeah.
If I can walk away, I'll walk away. If I can't, then I'll do what I have to protect myself. And that's
Yep.
how anybody should be in life. You know.
That's how I usually go about it now. Now, it wasn't always that way, man. He says, I watched and enjoyed a couple of Beach Life videos, and he shows some true gems of the Philippines. Yeah, he says, I crossed the line. I agreed. I'm not addressing him anymore out of respect for you. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, man. Because we need spaces like this, man. It's not many spaces like this. It's not, man. Usually people are gonna come up here, they're gonna tell you what their opinion, what they believe, what they think, how they arrived at it, and then that's it. You put it in the comment section, in the comments of the video, and they might respond and they might not. And I really don't want to do that. I want this space to be for us, for everyday men, you know, for
A lot.
everyday men to be able to come up
A,
here and be like, this bitch did this to me, and yeah, I said it, or this dude did this, and get it off their chest before they do something stupid. I'd rather have that, leave that space open than to have you going out drinking, smoking, doing drugs, doing reckless behaviors, doing stupid shit. You could come here and talk. You can email me. I keep my email going. I'll respond. This is my passion in life now. I can't do it 7 days a week. But I really care. I really do care, And I think we got other people out here that do too. But a lot of times they won't say anything. They won't speak out,
that's. I think that mainly comes down to a lot of people find comfort in their own darkness and afraid to walk out in the light. It's different. They're afraid that it might not work. They find comfort in the pit of despair because they know what's there already. Even if it's not perfect, it's hurting them, it's harming them. They feel comfortable there. They're afraid of change because they think it can actually be worse. But each day, if you make the best, you try to do a little bit better each day, things will eventually get better. But just staying in that same pit of despair, nothing will ever change in life.
Yeah, Miss Wish stays in a dangerous place for expats. All love, guys. Thomas, my channel, Icy channel, mostly expats. Yeah, all love. Wish you just be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. Meet your night teller. Yeah, it's some doozies on this internet. On it, Time
Oh,
to see by yourself.
that's another thing that gets me. I've been watching female YouTubers that get on channels, big YouTubers like in Thailand and Philippines, and you see a lot of men get on there and they praising the girl, talking about how beautiful she is, and they give them a lot of money and stuff like that. And what's so funny is the woman, some of them that get on there and go, "Well, I'm already married," but the whole time saying they donate money, saying, "Oh, we have to get together." Well, I'm
Yeah,
already
right.
married. I thank you for the donation, but I'm married. And then you have the other women. They like to show off and tease a little bit to get attention for money. And then you got other people that are there, it's just being their true selves, and they're trying to promote their channel and what they believe in. You know, it's just funny how it's funny to see how some men get on those channels and they actually act desperate. Like I can name a few of the channels that I've
I've
been
seen
on.
it. I've seen it. I've seen it.
And then they bring that mentality overseas with them when they go move to the Philippines and Thailand, and then they wonder why they're miserable and
A lot of
they're
the
not
guys
happy.
never. A lot of the guys never make it over there. That's the problem. That's the thing.
I, well, the sad reality is only a small percentage of people that go overseas create the life they deserve,
Yeah. So,
and that's the truth.
Well, like I said, a lot of these people, they don't look at themselves. They want to point the finger everywhere else but themselves. And again, you're the common denominator of all your problems. Start with yourself. If you
Yeah,
talk about women,
exactly.
all women want is money. All they want is material things. But then you go to another country and you lead with your wallet. Guess what? Those women are going to
don't.
want your money too.
And that's what I tell men. If you go overseas leading with your wallet, don't complain about becoming a walking ATM machine.
Yeah. Thomas says you couldn't pay me to go there, Miss Wishy. Zimbabwe. 10%. Getting
I,
comfy over
s-
there. I love it when you smile, Blizz. Thank you. Thank you. Uh,
I would say where Miss Swishy's living is not safe for foreigners to go in general, but because that's a place that's been flagged by countries as a no-fly zone, doesn't mean that every person that's in that area is a bad person.
yeah, I would go
So
there. I would go there.
I don't know if I would go there, but if I was
It's not the
single,
same as it used to be. It's not
if
even
I
close to the same as it used to be.
I
if
would
I
go
was if I was single and interested in meeting Wishy, I would meet outside of that area, in a different place. And you got to understand when it comes to like Thai woman or Filipino woman, sometimes they might want to bring a friend along so they feel safe and comfortable. So you might want to pay for two people to come there just to initially meet. But once you get to know each other, that person that comes is just isn't there for a chaperone at first, and then when you start being together, if you're interested in each other, then it's alone. But
there. Yeah,
you know,
that's what I said. I would go. Let me read
I
these comments, Adam. People, Adam, you have? Can you do live streams yet?
I'm not sure if I can or not.
All right, because I'm waiting for that, man. I'm waiting, man. But let me read these
Oh,
comments. People have different intentions. Indeed, Adam, I say, do you, boo boo? Yep. Always try to focus on the intentions. If it's my cup of tea, I'll explore that world. If not for me, I have no problem walking away. True. Green tea or red tea? What time is it, Travels? Any new uploads coming up? Beach of Life says, Zambo is okay. Just stay in the city. Yeah, I'm gonna go one day. Who knows? Might be 15 years from now, but um, if that opportunity ever comes, I'm gonna go. Man, I don't know whether to leave and go somewhere new or stay here. Whatever floats your boat, brother. You know what I mean? Joseph is in the background. Man, Adam, you can live through street. You can live through StreamYard. Just activate the 24 hours. Yeah, I'm not trying to die for some pushy. Yeah, nah, I wouldn't go there just for that. I wouldn't go there just for that. If that's all you're going for, Shit. That's in every corner on the earth. Joseph's in the background. Let me say what up. One more time I got left. I got a little while left.
If I wouldn't go overseas just for sex. Sex can be found anywhere. If you're going overseas and that's what you decide to do, you should do it for creating a better life for yourself.
Joseph, what's up, bro?
That starts by making the right choices instead of
What's up, Joseph?
Choices. Hey, Joseph.
I gotta say this though. I gotta say this because I think about it every time, but I never say it. Joseph, that's a unique way to spell Joseph, I think. It's the same way my brother's name is spelled. His name is Joseph. And then my brother's, I'm dropping his government tonight. My brother's middle name is Kamar, and it's spelled the same way as Kamar that's on Calvin's channel. So it's just I think about it every time I see them two brothers, man.
So his name is spelled Joseph too?
Yeah.
Cisco disappeared.
Yeah.
Very unusual. That's not
right.
That's his Arab name.
Yeah, that's
Jewish name. I've met a lot of Josephs,
but never like that. But yeah, it's spelled exactly that way. Cisco brought the Philippines Wi-Fi back to the States with him.
That's good.
Cisco had a brownout.
It's been good. It's been good this live. I haven't been cutting out with the volume. I just hit the wrong button and it logged me out.
Give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna drop down for 1 second. I'll be right back.
Joseph, what's going on?
What's up, Cisco?
You know, just doing my thing, brother. Hey, I did want to tell you, I don't think I mentioned last time. I did watch that video that you
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did. Man, I'm gonna be honest, man. That was a hard watch. I couldn't take that dude seriously, but I watched it. I did watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched the video, and what I did is I looked at
Gone 1 minute and they're talking about politics already, man.
Well, he brought it up. I'll just say it. I said I looked up the news channels that were in that video. Plus, I'll use outside sources other than like mainstream in Western countries. No, I say there is reason. I wouldn't say it's what I call genocide, but I say it's enough going on there. It's enough to raise concern and to look into it. Because there's a lot of stuff it's a lot of things that are happening there, But I wouldn't say
a lot happening in the whole country, though.
There's a lot happening all over the world. That was my point. It's not that what's happening there. There's not some stuff that's not great. There's some bad stuff happening there, but nothing that's happening there rises above what's happening other places for that place to be the only place that they're taking people in. But that's a whole nother conversation. Let's get back to, man, did you see those did you see that Oklahoma City we gonna talk about that? Oklahoma City?
Let me read these comments.
Nah, I'd rather stay away from politics and religion.
I'm gonna damn, hold on. Icy, yeah. I'm gonna start doing women fragrances also. I'm going to the Philippines. I hope in August. There's a beautiful tree called the ylang ylang tree, which is used a lot in perfumery. Yeah. All right. Be waiting for that, man. Definitely, man.
That's it. She actually got it.
She got my lady from Cebu.
No, my wife was born in Hawaii. Her parents were from Ilocos Norte, but my wife was born in Hawaii. She was raised in the Bay Area, and yeah, she's when we went to the Philippines the first time, that was our first time, both of us being there.
All right. He says Beach Life says Zambo got some hella nice looking girls there. That's God working wonders.
We just passed up something that Icy said that I almost never hear no one bring up, which is actually that's weird. I don't know how she didn't even know.
Kind of low, brother.
I sound low. Is that better? So Icy had put up my name that I went by for pretty much more than half of my life, which is Yosef. So she is Yosef. So when you say Joseph, it's actually Yosef.
Yo,
Yeah, I was
son.
gonna say that's usually pronounced Yosef.
Yeah.
It's pronounced that way,
Call,
but it's spelled Joseph, which is
yeah, we
weird.
call my
But
we call my brother that. Yo, son.
I just think it's weird how she knows that because that's yeah. I don't know. That's weird.
I think I remember her. I think that started in her stream. So at some point, something happened in her stream. I travel based off U.S. travel advisory.
Yeah, right.
What time? That didn't. I'm not even coming.
Well, I started.
5% me, obviously. Hold on. Hold that thought. I'm gonna keep up with these comments tonight, man. And I only got I think I got 10.
Yeah,
Time
but can I say one thing real quick? It's usually when I talk, that's when you start your comments, doing your comments.
Go
I don't
ahead.
see it with the other ones. Now go ahead, do your comments. Go ahead and do your comments, no problem, no worries. I just noticed that.
Yeah, you got about 30 seconds or so. Say what you so the comments come in fast. And he gets lost in the comments, so he just kind of just roll with it.
He says, "Where you at, Q?" Nah, I cut Cisco off too. It's just because I have to keep up with the comments, man. If not, I get 30, 40 behind, and I can see them. And if people are talking, by the time I get to the comment, I don't even remember what the hell the comments about. You know what I mean?
Well, I can't.
It's not easy to host a live.
I'm not blaming it on anyone. It's also because of latency from the different areas I'm from. Y'all different parts of the United States. I live in Thailand, so I understand there's a delay. So sometimes it's hard to say what I want. I'll try to wait. I try not to interrupt anybody. At least I try to anyhow.
Oh, he said Central Luzon. Miss Wish says, well, good idea. Philippines women love scent, but mostly eau de toilette.
He's juggling like 3 things at once.
What the hell is that? Where is the ghetto? He says, oh, you're up north, Q. Central Luzon. Cisco, you took some good footage. Yeah, he did.
I'll salute.
He did,
Times
man.
of
I was
travels.
following
Thank you,
him,
bro.
man. He didn't know I was following him, bro.
Stalking me.
I was right. What do you want me to type? Who?
Sounds like she's the CIA or something. She's a spy.
Earlier,
She's a spy. Is that what she is? Are you a Secret Service agent? Are you like Jane Bond?
Yeah, we
Are
caught
you
up now.
Jane?
We all caught up.
Yeah,
you dropped your channel. Salute, man. Everybody subscribe to Adam, expat living overseas. Subscribe to my sis Icy, but that's not her channel. That's her other Icy Fit. I gotta get that.
if I was to do a live, what would the live be about?
everything you want to talk about here that you don't have enough time to do. I mean, that's just the reality of it. You have you time it 30 seconds to a minute, and then he stops, looks at the comments, or it's just like a circle. So anything you want to talk about,
I'm trying to get better at it to where I just don't lose the whole chat and have to skip blocks of comments.
There's always gonna be there's gonna be a sacrifice in the sense that in keeping up with the comments, the conversation here gets but if you focus too much on here, then you don't keep up with the comments and they matter too. So it's not gonna be an easy juggle to do.
I think what will help is
I don't want to do
when somebody talks about something, let everybody that's in the live respond, and then after that, go to the comments, read the comments, answer any questions that are needed, and then go to the next one. And yes, it's hard to do.
Some of y'all long-winded, bro. Even me, I get long-winded because you have like a 2-3 minute,
Yeah, but what gets me is when somebody
from one
talks it,
person.
somebody talks and then they pause. They pause for a second or two. So I go, well, and then all of a sudden they go blah 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 blah, and something new.
Yeah,
We gotta
I
be
mean, I get it.
I,
It's,
I
it's
think that
tough.
I think they finish and they're not.
Yeah,
that's the
I
flow,
do
man.
too. But it's tough.
You gotta
Like
be
so,
quick.
the comments are slowing down now. But I mean, I only got 12 people in here. Imagine if I had 100. You
It's
know,
gonna be impossible for you. Then you have to make a choice. Are you gonna make it your show about just the comments? Because then you wouldn't. You can't have a panel. They just be sitting up here looking
I
at you
gotta
reading
keep a
comments.
panel. Yeah, I gotta keep a panel. I just think we gotta be mindful of being
Careful.
more concise with your comments.
But also on the panel. Because you're
I
right.
think
There can be some long-winded. There can be a selfish element to it. Or we're saying more than we
He
should.
wants him to
So
chat.
you have to try to self-edit. Like even now, it's like you kind of like your
Yeah,
mind here, mind there, mind here, mind there.
it's hard. None of us are professionals. None of us are professionals. Like I didn't.
if you get a lot of viewers and there's a ton of comments, but the only thing that you can do is highlight certain comments, and try
Yeah,
to try to include everybody if possible. But still that's going to be hard to do. So what do? The person that's hosting the live stream, he's not trying to be rude or anything, but he
Yeah,
can't
Thomas.
he can't answer
Next
everybody's
time, bro.
question.
Well, that's why I see it doesn't seem like she does many panels for that reason. She focuses just on the comments
yeah, because
because
people get pissed. I haven't had that yet, but some people get pissed, and
but they want to be
but you can't
acknowledged.
please anybody. Yeah, you
They
read my
don't want you to
comment. You're
feel
skipping my
ignored.
comment,
They want to feel a
or if
part
you get
of it.
off subject, other people get pissed at that too. Not pissed, but
That's true.
upset if you get off track.
Well,
Blizzard says I'm shy. I'd rather stay anonymous. But yeah, nothing wrong with that. He says, Blizzard, why is there so many vloggers in the Philippines? And a new joint, a new channel is born every day. Yep. One, I think it's hot. It was hot for a second. I don't know now. Like people just instantly blowing up. But I think if you're there, living there, yeah, it's a hot topic. And then I think people
What is
just
another channel about?
the the stigma is wearing off, I guess, for some people.
I mean, how about people just go to the Philippines because they want to go? Like that should be like I want to do it not because a bunch of people say oh, there's a bunch of prostitutes here. You should come here, or it can be any reason. It might not even be your reason to want to go. But I think that people get influenced to go to these countries. And they go, and it's not what they thought it was going to be, but it's not something that they wanted to go to anyways. Like you really wanted to go, let's say Germany, but you've been convinced to go to Philippines. Now you wasted all that time and money going someplace you didn't really want to go, but because someone on YouTube said, "Hey, this is the best thing since sliced bread" for them, but you go
Yeah,
someplace just because you thought it was going to be something that is not for you.
yeah.
That don't make sense.
many people don't take the time to do any research to try to understand another different place, even when they travel or they decide to live overseas. They just pack up the bags and hope for the best, and then they complain if it doesn't meet their expectations. That's why I
It's
tell
going to
people.
be It's something different in every country. There's gonna be like when I was in Brazil, there was issues, but it's like one of those things where you look at someone's flaws, and you love that person anyway. Like if you can't look at someone's flaws and hate them for their flaws, you shouldn't go. Same thing with a country. If you can't love the country for all the flaws that's going to come with it that you don't anticipate, then you should just leave, not complain about
I
it. Because
agree.
every country has issues. Am
I
I wrong
agree.
about that?
Yeah,
I
I
said it.
agree. I agree. He says
I,
vitally
s-
messed up vlogging in the Philippines. That's a fight worth fighting. I don't know. We gonna have to let that one play out. We're gonna have to let that play out.
That
Because
dude,
for the
wow, he
most
was
part,
riding the
what I seen in the Philippines, especially with my camera out, because I had already done it on a previous trip where it wasn't just on when I was on excursions, just when I was just walking around the city with my camera out. I wasn't that forward with it or sticking my camera in anybody's faces, but it's generally people don't care that much. You know what I mean? It's not like America where a random person is gonna be like, get that camera on my face, get that. So it's gonna have to be the people reporting you, right? So if the people really don't care that much, then I don't know if that law goes anywhere. There are laws on the books now that you wouldn't even know. Like I know in America, I don't know off the top of my head, some obscure law that you can't eat cheese on a Friday night in Oklahoma or some shit. You know what I mean? Some laws, some stupid laws like that still exist. Nobody cares about them. You know?
I definitely think they're going to be selective with how they enforce that law, though, because there's not a lot of Filipinos walking around that can afford a $900 fine. So I don't think it was directed at Filipinos. I think it was directed at foreigners putting cameras in people's faces because, a lot of us go there and don't have respect.
Yeah, but there was also some incidents after the Vitali incident. Um, and there was like one Filipino man that was doing like the worm in the middle of the street. There was another guy on top of a damn bus dancing, and so there were other incidents. They just weren't as big. And then, like I always bring up the big dog strategies guy that was worse than Vitali, but nobody cares. Nobody talks about him because
Who was
it
worse than
didn't hit
him?
the headlines. Big
Oh,
dog strategies.
it's fairly simple. Anybody that goes overseas acting stupid, deport them and blacklist them from coming back to your country. In the
Yeah,
story.
so it's like
Don't mess
I don't
around with
know.
them.
I just think we have yet to see how that law is going to affect and how it's going to be enforced. If I was in the Philippines today, I wouldn't vlog differently than I vlogged. I wouldn't, to be honest.
If I,
Um,
if,
I'm not announcing. That's just me. I'm not saying I'm a risk taker or nothing like that. But
Well, and the thing of it is, too, is that they're not going to know if you broke the law until you post it, because when you post it and you blurt everybody's faces out, cool. But if you post it and people's faces aren't blurred out, so then at that point you're violating the law. But then again, you also have to be living in the Philippines or staying in the Philippines for them to reach out and touch you.
yeah,
So
but there's
I don't
another
know.
part of it was that you're supposed to announce that you're recording though.
Mm.
That's it.
Yeah. So you walk
Announce.
into you walk into a room and there's 8 people in there and you're recording. You got to announce like, "Hey, I'm vlogging. Do you guys mind?" That was part of the law too.
Wait a minute.
You
I
got to
Yeah.
got
announce.
I got to say something. I got beef with you, TJ. Got beef with you. Let's go right now. Get up here on the panel.
Oh, TJ, I don't see. I ain't caught up on the comments. See, I'm falling behind. So he says, Juice says, you do a good job, Liz, and you're going to get better at it. It's got to be tough. It's not. It's back and forth. It is what it is. I ain't complaining. I definitely want to chop it up with you, bro. Cisco says, choose what you consume. Agreed.
Same, Thomas. Same.
Yep. Point, brother. I hope you're a part of what you consume. He says, I never planned on coming to the Philippines. I started thinking about it more after getting online and meeting a sweet little lady. Ryan, bro, what up, man? How you doing? Ryan's back. Ryan's back vlogging, everybody. Beach Life says, us foreigners need to stop thinking we are the center of the universe here. The locals, for the most part, don't even care. Just be respectful and watch your back and do your thing. That's how I am, bro.
Facts.
Like, I've been
Facts.
able to stay out of trouble when I was
Oh,
there.
yeah,
Like I
man.
said,
That's
I'm
the universe.
not putting my, this ain't me in the Philippines. This is me in the Philippines. Like way back here. I keep to myself. You know what I mean? For the most part, I
When
keep to myself.
when you move to another country, it's your responsibility to adjust to their culture and laws, and not the other way around.
Yeah, that's not how Americans think.
Icy says, one thing I know in Japan, I avoid downtown because there's so many tourists that doesn't respect our privacy sometimes. Cameras here and they're streaming. Yeah. And
Yeah, but
well, I know for one thing coming from an American, it's hard to get that, because there's cameras everywhere. And it's like I'm just one more of the bunch.
You're talking
But
about
it's
culture.
yeah, I got they I don't know the laws over there. She can explain them way better than I can. But I know it's not the same. I know it's not the same to where we have that's part of our First Amendment. It's part of our First
You just
Amendment.
throw cameras in people's
If you see
faces
it,
with
you can
time,
record it. If you can
it's
see it,
different.
you can record it. But it's not the same everywhere. And we got to know
So,
that before we get off that damn plane. You know?
Yep.
so you're on a beach recording a beautiful scenery, and people walking past you as you video, and are you supposed to say to each person, "Hey, I'm recording. Do you mind if you're on video?"
I don't know.
I,
That's crazy. It's crazy to
I,
me, but I don't have to. And that's the thing. I don't have to understand it.
I,
I either
I
abide
think
by it or I don't. And I
Exactly.
think, I don't have to understand it because it's not American law, it's Filipino law.
Exactly.
I think in general they won't be too harsh about it. It's just mainly they putting it out there harsh for the people that are stream that pushes the boundaries or cross the boundaries.
I don't understand when he made this comment. He said the Blizzard, the money they can get is crazy, like millions of dollars. What do you mean? Like fines or
They're not
something?
making money. You talking about the reason why someone like a Vitali would provoke people in another country to get the reactions like they get now. He's claiming that they're making millions from it. They're not making millions. They're
Oh,
making
I don't
a
know.
couple of thousand. But it's not when
Ain't
you go
worth
to
what he
jail,
It's
when you're
not
going to
worth 30
jail,
years in prison.
right? Is it
Yeah.
worth it,
You see in
20,000 a
the
month that
picture,
you
he
go to
looked
jail?
like he looked tiny compared to what he did look like.
Hey, I'm Vitality. I made a few $1,000s off this video, but it cost me 30 years in the prison.
Yeah, see
I
what
did a
Q
good
said.
job.
But to be fair,
It's
they
not
do make somewhere around
it's not
20
our
to
country.
40,000
We have to
a month.
respect the culture and the people. Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
the guy,
Always
the guy that
respect
was
the
in Japan,
locals.
the guy that was in Japan who was doing it, it was shown that he was making like 30 grand a month from doing it. He had a lot of donations from Twitch, and all these other platforms from people who wanted him to go out there and disrespect these people. So he was making good money, but not
Yeah,
millions of
that's what it
dollars.
was. Even like the other guy, Johnny Somali,
That's what
they
got
were
him fucked up.
supporting him to do that shit. They were like souping him up to do it.
And
Paying him
not
to
just
watch,
swooping them, but paying them to do it. Like
paying him.
donations. Hey, I dare you to do this. Here's a couple of grand, and then he would.
Yeah,
That's how he made his money. So they enabled him to do the stuff he did.
it couldn't be me.
I don't know the guy's name, but there's a guy that got arrested and is in prison in South Korea for doing similar things like Vitality and other YouTube people
That's
that own
Somali.
channels did. Oh,
That's him.
that's small. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
stupid,
Uh,
stupid
Now I
guys.
know.
You know.
well,
Guys,
if
I ain't
you
gonna
was
lie,
if you
man.
was
I
like,
got like 5 more minutes up here. I really got something to do tonight. Um,
do the thing.
Who do who do you
Joseph
actually
came late.
you can only blame yourself if you go overseas acting stupid, making dumb
Yeah,
choices and all
all
that.
money ain't good money.
It's like I said, most of the horror stories that you hear about overseas come from men making poor choices, and that's the truth. Not all, but most.
Yeah. All right, let me catch up. I'm gonna catch up with these comments, and I really gotta get up out of here, man. I appreciate you guys coming. I got some shit I gotta go do. Um, appreciate you
Blizzard, what
guys
are you
getting my
doing at
channel.
midnight? Blizzard, what are you? There ain't nothing good out there in the streets at midnight, bro. What are you really up to? We need to know.
I'll let you guys know later. Nothing crazy. Just life, and right.
That's right, brother.
Yeah. So.
Well,
Yo, pop in before it's time for errands. Go ahead, bro. If you guys want anything to say before you guys get up out of here, any shout outs, plug your channel, any any side businesses you want to push, any side hustle, anything, man. Let us know. Let us know what y'all got going on, man. Go
any
ahead,
Go ahead,
Adam.
side
Adam. Go ahead, Adam.
any side hustles? The only side hustle I have is I bought a bunch of land at rice fields, and I turn around and rent it out to people that can't afford land, so it helps give them a chance to improve their lives. And if they run into a certain problem or circumstance beyond their control, usually I give them a little break give them a little break. But if it's somebody that's just making poor, stupid choices and all that, then I don't usually cut them in this life. But other than that, I don't have any real side hustles. Everything I've done was everything that I already had set up. But I reckon if I was going to start a side hustle, it would be my YouTube channel. And I'll use that. I'll probably, if I ever made any money from that, I would just use that to try to help more people.
All right.
But
Cisco, anything you want to say before we get up out of here?
Yeah, just thank you again, Blizzard, for having me on your channel, man. I appreciate it. I mean, you're right. There's not a lot of places that I know of on YouTube that, do this and do it in a way that is thoughtful, and how you approach what you're doing. And you're doing a good job, man. It's only going to get better. It's only going to get better. Pretty soon you'll be like Icy. You'll have a nice background and the lighting and the good, the whole good set, decorations and stuff. But no, man, I appreciate you and appreciate everybody on the panel and the chat keeping it alive. That's what it's about.
All right, bro. Thank you, man. Joseph, any last words?
No.
All right.
He's a man of few words.
That's what's
I
up,
just
bro.
I just jumped on. I ain't really, just hanging out.
Salute to you guys. Salute to you brothers, man. Hey,
thank
go,
you, everyone.
no doubt, man. Go subscribe to Expat Living Overseas. We need to support him, man. He's got a good channel. He's got a lot to say, a lot of positive things to say, man. So we need to support the people who have positivity, man. You know what I'm saying?
I
Absolutely.
did want to hear Cisco's thoughts on some other things, though. It's not the platform for it.
See, y'all be blaming me. Y'all be blaming me. It don't be me. It be me responding.
What's the old saying? Either knuckle up or shut up.
Yeah.
You got to speak your mind.
I'm gonna finish up these comments and I'm gonna get up out of here, bro.
All right, take care, everybody.
All right, brothers. Salute. Juice is back in the day. Your boys love to go to certain clubs, but it does not mean you're going to enjoy the club like they do. You have to go to what works for you. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Ladies and gents, Blizzard abroad, gotta go to work because TJ is here. I'm gonna keep it clean. That's what's up.
Damn.
I'm not getting deported for what? A vlog? No, thank you. Yeah. It's not worth it, huh? I'm on the phone laughing my ass off. I'm here in spirit, brother. Yeah, salute, TJ. I heard Cal coming out there to visit you, man. That's what's up. Happy to hear that, man. I remember buying a 6-pack of Rat Horse. Bad mistake. He wanted a 6-pack every day.
Damn.
That's what you get.
Damn.
Yeah, have fun. Y'all stay positive. Yup. See you, Icy. He's laughing at Thomas. It beats your life. Yep. Cisco, I'll hit your channel next if I still catch this live.
Thank you, Icy. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
You got a channel, Cisco? I didn't know that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yo, some nice videos up there, man.
Well, it helps
Roger
if you
Glee,
type
what up?
in mine.
I think I did earlier. I'll do it again.
Yeah, just keep doing it, man.
Let me bounce out of here. Hey, thank you, Blizzard, and everybody take care. Be safe.
All right, salute, Cisco. Thank you, bro. What's good, buddy? Just getting ready to head outside for a sec. What time is coming to Vietnam one day? I see Kyle on his way out there. He said, Japan, you have to censor or get permission as well. Typical Filipino law, making vague laws that don't stand up to strict English interpretations. Damn, Blizzard, you getting off? Yeah, I got to get up out of here, man. We'll see. Yeah, everyone coming in waves. I think between Mikey, Kyle, and Mika's friends, we'll have someone around every week. Oh, that's what's up, man. Blizzard got a big Shirley coming. No, no way. Mika's friends, Q. I'm rolling out too, guys. Yeah, peace out, Thomas Marshall, man. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you, brother. Keep living, man. Keep winning over there, bro. Okay, they men's. Oh shit. Thanks for the live stream, bro. All love. Let me know, man, if you want to come up Friday, man, or Saturday in the Philippines. Same time, man. Hope you enjoyed it, man. I hope you see what I'm trying to do here. I'm not trying to bash nobody. Being able to push back without being toxic, negative, harmful to each other. You know what I'm saying?
Just one quick thing. It's like when we was talking to your friend about his problems, and then that the other guy that come in there was creating problems, talking about the Philippines and all that.
Yeah,
I wanted to
drunk
hear
ass.
his story. I want to
Drunk
hear. I want to hear the man's story and see if it's something I can actually do to help inspire him to make his life better.
Damn, that's peak internet. You say you better not be bouncing on no trampoline or twerking in your super chats like her, though. Oh, call it. That's funny.
That
DJ is
surprised me when I
wild,
saw
bro.
that for the first time.
DJ
I
is
was like,
wild.
"What is this?" I thought I thought I was
Yeah,
gonna see like nipple slips and things. I was like, "Whoa!" I had to cover my eyes like that. What is all this?
I don't even know what y'all talking about, but maybe I'll see it one day. I don't know.
Where Icy
But
does
yo,
all the suggestive, the not explicit, just like that womanly thing.
oh, okay,
the,
okay,
the
okay.
showing off, like it's like
Yeah, yeah, I got you.
it's different.
Nah, I got you. But yo, I hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night, y'all morning, y'all evening. Wherever you are in the world, man. Whether you're in the States or abroad, man. Take care of yourself. Have a good night. Enjoy life. Enjoy the time you got. It's not unlimited, man. So make the most of it. And fight the battles that matter to you. That was my message today. Fight the good battle. Fight the battles that matter to you, man. If
The
it's
ones
not
that
important,
inspire
if
you
it
to your
doesn't bring
life.
peace, if it doesn't bring joy to your life, if it's only chaos, if it's only toxicity, if it's only stress, maybe it's time to cut it out. With that being said, man, I'll see you guys Friday night, Saturday morning overseas, man. Take care of yourself, man. Thank you guys. Thank everybody that came through tonight, man. I'll see you guys, man.
Take care.